Yo, yo, yo. So, Mike, you can apologize for the lateness.
Yeah, I can do that. That's my fault.
Everybody.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we just went live.
I could have sworn this guy said 7, but that's not true. It was 6.
That's pretty on it. Let me make sure this, everybody listen. Is there people on there?
Not right now, no.
I was going to say, does it sound good?
Testing.
How now, brown cow?
It sounds good. In the headphones.
Cool. Anyway, fuck it. They'll let us know. Once you start drinking,
Right after the accident?
fuck it. YOLO, you only live once.
Something like that.
Well, when's the last time you were on? Wasn't it like
It was with Cody. When was that?
Oh, that was right after all the
6
riots.
months ago?
When they started doing after the
After George Floyd.
George Floyd thing, yeah. That was when we stayed up till 2 a.m, damn near.
Yeah, that's when we came back and did a second.
Yeah, because we had finished the podcast and then we went downstairs and we started talking about another great conversation. They were like, "Dude, let's just go turn the mics back on." Those are on. That's on the Patreon if people want to go check that out. So,
Oh, is that on the Patreon?
yeah,
Okay.
you act like you don't know.
I just figured out the Patreon one.
What, like to get on there to see it
Yeah.
all? Oh, yeah.
Because I signed up for you and Dan years ago, and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know how to log into this thing. Like, I never
Yeah.
go back in.
They're building like that platform out. So pretty soon, like they're adding more features to it to where you can do more interactive stuff and you can actually interact with the other people
Yeah.
on it. Like say if you and Sax were on it, you'd be able to interact a little bit more, you know? So it's almost like you can build this small little community. So it's almost all they're lacking right now is the ability to have like a message board /chat. I think that's in the works.
I don't know. We don't need any more of that.
Oh, come on.
There's enough places for that.
All of them are tainted.
Yeah, what's that? That's not gonna be any different. It's the people, not the space.
Yeah. It's true, but I think that depending on the circle, it's like I was having a long conversation with Curtis Hoffman today about it because that's one of the things that we kind of value pretty heavily right now about performance baggers is that the people are all pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like there's no backstabbing. There's no – it just feels like a more – like the community that I actually came into with FXRs originally.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, as things get bigger, more and more assholes join into the things, and it kind of fucks up the whole narrative of what it's all about. But right now, we got a good little scene going. I don't want it to get fucked up yet.
Yeah, well, everything does. I mean, it all just comes and goes, and nothing lasts forever. Just like you talk about, like, say, shows like Giddy Up Ending or something. Like, I've had this talk with a few friends. Like, I feel like 5 years is pretty much, should be the limit on just about every show. Like, after 5 years, I mean, even if it just moves down the street, changes name and stuff, it's like after 5, it just starts losing what, it had.
What its luster was.
I guess that's kind of where it peaks and it starts going down. I mean, I only went into one Born Free, so I can't speak on that one. But that's how it seems to me and talking to other guys who've been to a lot of shows, over the years.
Well, do you think it's probably hard for people to accept the change in the natural progression of successful events taking place? Because I understand what you're saying about that. Like, let's after the first Giddy Up and the second, the third, and then how amazing they were, and eventually I think they all go through those roller coasters of having their shit together and not having it together. But I don't know. I feel like it's if it has to change completely every 5 years, it almost feels like it there's nothing to look forward to. Oh, is this a pessimist podcast? Or we just
No, I don't even mean that in like a negative way.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, I'm just like, I guess with shows, a lot of times, it's like it starts off, whatever kind of show it is, whether it's Chopper, performance show, like it was the Texas Hill show. I only went to the first one of that, so I don't know how that one went. But I guess it starts off with just core people, like you're saying, like your performance bagger guys, right?
Yeah.
It's all just your people and everything. And you're saying how great it is. It's a good group of guys. And then you start putting on some show, say, out here. And then within 5 years, maybe it just starts growing and there's so much more. And like those guys have all come for 5 years. Maybe they less of them are coming, and now it's more people who aren't even into that necessarily. And they just kind of get somewhat watered down to where if it's just something fresh, like instead of here, it was in Austin, a new name and everything. And then it's like all those guys go, oh, I haven't been to that one, you know, and then they want to come to that. And
what I would say, too, to that point is I think that a lot of people, they just lose interest in bikes, and those kind of that thing happens,
that
right?
definitely happens.
So it's like you get guys that, like, were around on my first Giddy Up trip with you and some of the other guys, and then those guys go, some, you know, like Derek, I mean, he still rides, but he's got a chick now. He's in California. He's like, that guy's not in that circle anymore, you know. And Jade, who was going to come out, he's up in Alaska now. So Brad's a stunt rider. he don't do cool shit anymore. So it kind of like these people find other paths where they want to go away. And so it's like you have to almost like create this vibe and take it over, like kind of what in a sense, kind of what I started doing with our little camp at Giddy Up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where I was like freaking out, like, oh, I gotta get there early, get this spot, and I'm like nervous, trying to make sure that everybody has this badass Giddy Up experience like I did, you know, because I'm a control freak with that shit. And then I'm like, all right, I claimed this spot, and then I'm like, y'all need to hurry up, man, I can't hold this forever. And then everybody just like doesn't give a fuck, comes in there and just
what
has
I've
a good
learned
time.
with that, like say Giddy Up again, for example, I mean, I remember feeling the same way because, like, I go, like, the first year was good, and then I went, I think it was the second year was really good. It was either the second or third year. We had just a great time down there. And I felt the same way. I mean, we got to get that same spot. Like, that was just awesome.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that spot, and it was really fun next year. And I realized it's like, it's not even, those aren't even the thing. Like, it feels like, okay, we're going to recreate that, you know?
Yeah.
And then maybe you don't get that spot, or like you're saying, you get there early to make sure you do. But I feel like that's like the least important thing. Like, it feels like it is, because I agree. Like I said, it's the same way. But you're going to have a good time regardless, as long as you're just there to have a good time, you know? Just show up. You got friends show up. Yeah. But, I mean, I get the same way where it's like you just almost want to recreate it. It's like, last year was so fun. We got to do that again, you know?
On a sense, like, is that his?
Yours, you turned off.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. My bad. It's like that same concept because you have to wait so long to experience that again. Like, there's a whole year, and it's like every show kind of has a different vibe. You know what I mean? Like, a Giddy Up vibe is not, you know, because I was expecting that from Born Free when I went, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
But Born Free was still dope. But I was expecting it to be like a bigger, badder Giddy Up, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? So, but then you have to wait a whole nother year to have that experience again. So there's like, for someone like me who's a big planner and a fucking, you know, control freak in a sense, I'm looking at Giddy Up like, all right, it has to be badass, and I can't go 2 years without experiencing this cool shit again.
Well, I feel like with Giddy Up, what made it such, like, the show is good. I love the location, everything. I feel like what really made it great was also just, it's the first thing of the year. So, like, what's the last thing you went to? Like, okay, if you went to if you're in Texas, you went to Nitty Gritty maybe in November.
Yeah.
But if you didn't do that, the last thing you went to might have been in September, maybe October. So it's been a good 5, maybe 6 months since you've been to anything.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like the anticipation's the most for Giddy Up. Because then even whatever shows after that, okay, you were just at Giddy Up a month ago. So it's not like, you know, you're as itching. But all winter long, at least that's how it always was for me. It's like all winter long, I'm like, okay, got to get this bike done for Giddy Up. Get ready for Giddy Up. That's all we're talking about, me and my friends. Like, hey, Giddy Up's coming up. Giddy Up's coming up. So everything else, okay, then Giddy Up goes. Now you've got, like I said, like a month or two to talk about the next show. But you got 6 whole months.
Until that
Giddy
one,
Up.
yeah.
And I feel like that's a cool thing. Whatever, I mean, last year we didn't have a first show since there was no Giddy Up, like at least on the books that we're excited for. But, you know, but then you always talk about Daytona. I bet it's the same thing for Daytona for a lot of people.
That's that snowbird thing. All those dudes up
I feel
from
like
the
even
Northeast.
if it wasn't, if like you just went, if you didn't have so much else on your plate, say,
yeah,
or if the first year you went, you had a great time and stuff, whatever it was, if you like to go to Daytona, if that's your thing, you know, it's so early in the season that's what you're going to be thinking about all winter long. Or if you're working on your bike over the winter, you just can't wait for Daytona. You and all your friends, like, dude, we're gonna hit Daytona, man. It's gonna be awesome.
You know, like all my friends are going to Daytona, and that's cool. I want them to experience it. They'll know how bad it sucks. But no, I'm just playing. My thing is, I already have 2 events that I go to in Florida every year, and it's going to be Craig's Camp Out and Jason's indoor show, which I had a blast at. So, I was talking to Mark from Lexin just yesterday, and he was like, come on, man, come to Get Up. I was like, Florida's getting greedy with their events. They need to calm the fuck down. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a state that is just kind of over there. I can't ride to it 3 times a year. Like, there's just nothing between here and there that's like, fuck, I would love to ride that again. Or while I'm here, I'm going to go check this out because I missed it last time. I've done that trip
at least 40 times.
Well, you're from there, you know what I mean? From Jacksonville area. So, I mean, I get it, but like for me, it just doesn't have an appeal.
No, I know what you mean. That's what I'm saying.
But you say California, it's like there's 100 different mountain passes, 100 different passes from, like Mulholland Drive and all this to go to PCH from like, the valley up there. So it's like, I might not get to do that this time, but I'll do it the next time, or I'll ride a different part. There's just so many areas to ride that are more scenic.
Well, a scenic, I think, is, I guess, objective or preference or something.
For sure, yeah.
Because, like, the Florida trip is good. Like, if you're just going to take 10 the whole way, or, really, you got to cross over. If you're going the fastest way, you're going to cross through either Louisiana or Mississippi. Mm-hmm. It's like a 5-minute difference, so it doesn't really matter. But, the best way I've seen to do it, if you can spare a little bit extra time, like when we rode out there for my wedding in Jacksonville, we didn't do any highways. We didn't touch the highway. And I know you haven't been out that way much, but, like, the South, just like 5 miles off the highway, is completely different from if you just take 10 the whole way.
So that's what we did to the camp out, Craig's down south camp out, is we actually all linked up, and I had a blast at this thing. And it was fun because it's so much different than our camp out, to where we met in Jackson, Mississippi, and then the group went from like 3 or 4 dudes to like 20-something guys. Yeah. And everybody's smashing hard and everybody's riding hard. And then we go from there to Gulf Shores or Orange Beach, and then party there. And then the next day we just rode the coastline all the way. It was kind of grueling until we got past Panama. And then after we got past, is it Panama right there?
That's in the Panhandle early on, like right when you get into it.
But once you pass that, like you're kind of more in the woods there, and it gets real nice. Like just south of Tallahassee, I guess. Yeah. It's real nice down there. Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah. But, well, that's how, that's a lot how it is. If you take the back way all the way through Louisiana, Mississippi, and all that.
I do want to ride more of that.
Like, it's just cool. And then, you stop at random gas stations. It's like a whole different world, man. Yeah. It's like when you're, say, going out through the desert or something, in New Mexico and everything, just how it's just a different kind of place, but it's the same thing, but it's all wooded and everything. And I don't know. I enjoy it, but I guess it's partially where I'm from too. So
yeah, you have a different connection. And like I said, I'm going to be there twice this year, and it's just like, for me, the go to California thing was one. I didn't get to ride there last year, and that's something that I like to do every year. So doing that and then getting podcasts, it's a work trip for me, 100%. So, and I haven't been to NorCal in a long ass time. So it's time to go see all the homies up there. I'm going to go do a podcast with Tom Jessup and some of the other guys, like we were speaking about, reaching out to John Long and is it Nigel, right?
Nigel, yeah.
Yeah, so trying to bring some of those other guys on and, kind of shed some more light on the NorCal area. Because I've kind of got my little group of friends up there that I always talk to, and haven't really reached out to anybody past that. So, but yeah, I'm when it comes to the, like just the people and how it kind of can change the events, like I understand, man, and that's where, like, it gets tough where you, at least for me as kind of I hate to say leadership role, but like a get shit done and organized kind of role. It's really about, like, trying to keep people on that same page and trying to keep people and instead of, I don't know, it's tough, man, because people are going to do what they feel natural. I mean, it's kind of happening. Let me give you this, like, on I don't get on Facebook chats, but I'm vocal about my stance on whether or not ape hangers belong. If you have ape hangers, are you still a performance bagger? And I don't think so. That's an opinion that is, when you say it out loud, it just sounds so fucking gay. You know what I mean? It just does. But I have very, very strong points behind it to where it makes sense once I explain it to people. You know what I mean? So I'm good with that. But in a sense, I think maybe I'm the bully in that situation to people that are interested in coming in, or I'm trying to preserve it and keep it more grassroots, if you will.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, part of it's funny though, because I mean, you talk about keeping it all like grassroots and like the people who are in it now and everything, but then I remember like whenever you talk about the FXR thing, you're always talking about how you need those people to come in with the money. Like it can't be like this exclusive thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking like, are you starting to understand though why like some FXR guys feel that way? I know because you're always like, well, you need those big money guys to come in.
But see, this is the difference though. Now this is the difference, and this is just my very small window of view. I have personally inspired dudes with lots of money to come into this. But what's different is that they are inspired to come into what we do on these bikes more than these bikes in general. Does that make sense? So it's like there's a bunch of dudes out there that are kind of known. They have a really nice performance bagger, but they're not really in this circle of performance bagger guys. They're not doing these camp outs or these, runs to these different areas. They're not doing any of that. Therefore, they're not really in the circle. You know what I mean? They're in performance baggers, but they're not really contributing to the actual connection that we've all built, right? I do agree that that bringing money into it always gets finicky, but bringing money to something can be done correctly, and I just think that maybe with FXRs, like you got people that are coming in and spending a lot of money because these bikes have to be kind of redone in a sense, and so there's not, you get this like. For a guy like you, can find a $2,500 FXR and go look in your garage and find a couple of parts because you know how to fuck with a carburetor, you know how to fuck with all these different things, and make that bike run. Most of these dudes that go to our bike nights can't do that shit.
Oh, they could though.
If they wanted to invest and learn, they could. But most of those guys want to spend more time on the bike doing things than in the garage working on it. And I like both. I'll be honest with you, I like both.
I think your situation with the whole performance bagger thing is almost uncharted territory, though, because you're not talking about, like, say, like, in the FXR world, you have, like, the argument, okay, this is an FXR, but it's like a Kenny Boyce frame. Is it an FXR? Is it not? Like, but getting more into that, but you're not even talking about, like, the specific bike, but the style of the bike, and then if they're in the circle. But up until recently, with the internet and everything, you'd never have everyone in a scene, like, in the same circle. Like, if it was choppers back in the day or whatever thing in whichever decade, it's not like there was one nationwide circle where either you're kind of in or you're out.
Yeah.
Like, somebody could ride an FXR and still be a 100% FXR dude, not know who I am, not know who Chris is, not know who Joe is. Like, not know any of these people, but still be a diehard FXR guy. He's just not online.
Yeah, well, that's a bike that's been around for almost 40 years.
That's why I'm just saying, it's kind of almost like an uncharted territory when you're making that kind of statement and argument. It's almost hard to kind of grasp your head around it because, like, it's just a different thing,
Yeah, I mean, there's generations of guys that have been doing FXR stuff that bike has evolved over the years from being a hated bike to being the go-to bike to being the club bike to being just a fucking amazing bike, and then a resurgence of it. Yeah. Because of, I mean, honestly, probably because you can get them cheap back in the day before they became super popular again.
That's the only reason I'm on one.
Yeah. So it's like one of those deals. I mean, but for instance, we seem to have something going on every other weekend is what it feels like. Whether it's my anniversary party or this polar ride going on this weekend, or 3 weeks from now, everybody's in Daytona doing the skinny tire bagger build off, to our camp out after that, there's just something going on so quick, and it's all small events, maybe around bigger events, but technically small events. So there's a lot more, I don't like to use this word when we talk about guys, but there's a lot more intimacy in the fact that you become much closer friends with these guys because you all have a similar bike, and you're still a very small part of the motorcycle industry. Yeah. Even though it's becoming more popular, it's still like a very, very small thing. I think it's way smaller than FXRs. You know what I mean?
It's all super small, though.
It is. I mean, yeah, relatively. So, but I mean, in the FXR thing, like you got guys that's been literally doing these bikes for 30 plus years on only FXR. So the level of like just that could be seen in a really good way or a really bad way, depending on how you look at it. Like, that dude could be a complete asshole and open-minded to any other type of bike in the world. Or he could be like, man, you do you, I just like FXRs, right? Yeah. and he just knows everything about it and everything's kosher. He's don't give two fucks what you ride. He's just in his own lane.
Yeah.
But what happens a lot of times is when things become popular, and I'm going through this now, and it's a very dumb adolescent feeling to have. It's almost like jealousy when you see something start to blow up. You're almost like, it's like you like this band, and then they go mainstream. You're like, fuck, man. I liked them whenever nobody knew them, and now everybody knows them. I don't know if I like them anymore. You know what I mean?
Almost like the Fast Life podcast.
That's fair. But yeah, I mean, so it's a.
I liked them before they were even released one.
Dude, you're the one that made me do this shit.
But I mean, I feel like you just gotta take it for what it is and try and enjoy it. Because I mean, you look back at whatever time, whether it's like going back. Because, I mean, it's the show we've both been to the most together. Yeah. Like Giddy Up 3 years ago, whatever. I mean, whatever's going on, I mean, these, as is an old saying or whatever, but these are the good days, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, so we enjoy it or just keep thinking about, like, how you're trying to keep it this, or you wish it was what it was a year ago or 2 years ago, or you just enjoy it for what it is. I mean, because, I mean,
yeah, that's
however
a good point.
Upset you are right now about whether it's the FXR scene, the performance bagger scene, or where it's going. I mean, in 5 years, you're going to look back at this very day and be like, man, that was the shit back then. Why can't we go back to then?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Remember we didn't have to wear masks everywhere?
Yeah, I mean,
just dope.
Just enjoy it. Why don't we just turn this into a COVID podcast, though? Because that's all anyone does.
Everybody does that. No, I was fucking with.
Yeah.
Had to drop that dime in there. That way it can be dated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's a good point, man. And I actually look at life a lot that way. You know, like I've always been able to look back at some of the worst times of my life and still be like, fuck. It's kind of like this. If you go scroll down your Instagram and you go back, right, to this photo album timeline of your life that we all put out, good things, kind of bad things, depending on where you're at in life. And it's so crazy that you as the person that's your Instagram, you're looking back on, you're like, fuck, man. Like, I remember when I took this photo, what I did there. And I remember how uneasy I was, or I thought that I was about to lose everything, or blah, blah, blah. And be able to go like, but I still, like, you see the fun times in all that shit, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been my motto, you know, whether it was the live fast before or the fast life now. It's just about fucking doing it all the time, like going for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I sound like Gary Vee a little bit right there, but just literally taking the opportunities as they come, being, you know, like, Jim Carrey and the Yes Man. Just do as much as you can, and you'll just find yourself.
The opposite. I'm stepping back, but I'm more talking about just enjoying shit for what it is.
Yeah.
But because I mean, I'm enjoying more just stepping back from things, just because and trying to do less. But that's me. I mean, I feel like you just got to do what works for you. You know.
Well, for me, it's maybe in a different situation because so much of my business and income is wrapped around doing stuff. Right. So it's like if I as much as at times I really want to back and just kind of, you know, have a little bit more free time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, fuck, man. Like, I'm looking at my health right now is good. I'm looking at my exposure as far as like, you know, whether, you know, people would consider me at a high level in pain or not. Like, that's the eye of the beholder, basically. But I feel like if I don't take advantage of these opportunities, I might waste a prime time of my life when I could do things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know if I'm in the right place to take a step back or to stay on the throttle with everything I got going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I do, dude, I understand what you're saying though. Just being able to focus on family and your closer friends and have a little bit more of a, once again, intimate relationship with those type of things in your life would be a little more sane.
Yeah. I mean, as it is for me, but I'm not trying to do anything special. So
yeah,
just enjoy life.
Yep. Last year was rough for you. How's that?
Yeah.
So how did it was wild, man. I think that either me and the homies was on a trip to the Smokies when the trailer flipped, or I think because wasn't the FXR Jam at the end of June?
No, July.
Oh, okay. So we were back, but yeah. I think I was, I was back here. So that shit was gut wrenching, man.
Yeah.
For even, I mean, I'm speaking for me, but like you were in the car, in the truck. But
Yeah.
how was that shit, man? How wild is that?
Scary as fuck, man. I mean, me and Dusty were just talking about at the swap meet that, like, I still don't think I've gone over 80 in a truck. Mm-hmm. I mean, or on a fucking bike, to be honest. I mean, and Dusty said, he said, I don't know if I've gone over 75. He's like, I don't think I've sped at all. Yeah. I was like, I've had to hit 80 a couple times just going to work, running behind. But, like, everything's just scary. Like, you know, like sometimes when you get like a little, like you hit those grooves in the road when you're on the bike. Yeah. You feel like you get a little bit of a wobble, you know? Like, I'll be in a truck and hitting grooves and, like, slowing, like, dropping 10 miles per hour. Like, shit's just scary, man. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've been into a handful of accidents and never felt that way before, but now it's like everything's just freaking me out on the road.
That's a weird one when you have a trailer, though, because it just kind of takes control.
Oh, 100%. I was driving and I had zero control. Yeah. Zero. Like, it popped off and chains were holding on to the truck and I was just following the trailer at that point, which nobody was driving. So, you know, it was just.
Where were you at, in New Mexico?
Yeah, Tucumcari.
Isn't that close to where did Joe Kidd have that issue at? Wasn't it in New Mexico too?
I think it was in New Mexico. I think Marty was telling me that it was because he told me he lost his trailer in New Mexico.
Yeah,
but that's just that was during like a snowstorm or something. But yeah, it's wild, not fun.
Yeah, that's
wouldn't suggest it.
And then you got hate for that too, right? Fixing up the bike and then raffling it. How'd that go down?
I mean, obviously somebody I know because it was a fake account, and somebody I don't know is not going to go through the trouble of making a fake account to talk shit. Yeah. But who knows?
Do you think that people come after you because of your fire meme game?
I have no idea.
I mean, because you when you make a meme, you go for the fucking throat, dude.
I feel like I keep it pretty tame. Yeah. I mean, I've thought numerous times like I should just make an anonymous account so I could go harder, but you know, because you just can't do that shit on. Like I used to hate on those accounts. I still guess I do because I don't do go anonymous. But people get upset, but part of me started to understand. Like that's why I slowed down on them because. Like, I haven't put out many memes, especially many too serious, I guess. Yeah. If a meme could be taken as serious. Because once I got the Goldwing, I realized, like, I made all these memes talking shit on Dynas and baggers and stuff. And, like, FXRs are better. And I've always told people, like, some people get something like, dude, I don't care. Trust me, nobody cares less than I do about what you ride. I see a joke, I make it, you know? Yeah. I just throwing shit at the wall. But then when I did that and I seen how many people got legit mad, like, I mean.
When you bought the Goldwing.
Yeah, when I bought the Goldwing, like, I mean, I'm not talking about, like, people I just know online. Like, people I know in person, like, who I consider friends. You know, it's like, I don't know as well as you maybe, but, like, better than some of our local guys out here, you know? And I'm like, and straight up, like, blocking me online and stuff and, like, telling everyone, fuck Mike, like, just because I got a Goldwing, like, and I'm not riding an FXR
at the moment.
Like, yeah, I mean, I've still got like 5 at the house, but you know, and I was like, holy shit! So like, all these people really do take it serious. Then I'm like, okay, maybe, like, I'm sitting here just thinking I'm making jokes, but all these guys like resharing it and stuff, like, take that shit like super fucking serious. And I'm like, how can I hate on like the Dyna guy or the bagger guy taking it serious when I made fun of them, when the FXR guy's taking it even more serious on the thinking I'm praising, like, talking about this is the most amazing bike on the planet when just a fucking bike, you know? Yeah. I had no idea people took it that serious. Like, people tell me, no, it's FXR forever, bro. Like, fuck you. And I'm like, dude, like, wow. Is that serious?
That just seems like, you know, if you think about it, though, like, forever, FXRs, as far as a community, has kind of been the butt of the joke, right? The Dynas wobbled, the performance bagger's an oxymoron,
There's things you can make fun of. It's just for whatever reason the Dyna guys suck at making memes. Like, because you can make fun of FXRs. It's just they don't make good memes.
Well, you got to ride them and know it to kind of know where to. Because there's no obvious things, right? It's not. Well, there might be, but Dyna's got pretty obvious shit.
That's more so just you got to actually make them funny.
Yeah. I agree.
It's like, I mean, it's like just bad stand-ups. You know, it's like that's how I kind of see. Like, for whatever reason, the Dyna guys just don't make good memes. And so,
because I remember when you would make it, dude, like, I would, you know, I'm on Dynaholics on Facebook, And every day I'm less and less anything on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
But when you would make a meme and I'd log into Facebook and someone would share it on there, dude, they would get so mad. But it's like I'm over there laughing and liking on it and shit. You know, it's like it's all funny, man. The internet's supposed to be funny. Like, why?
That's how I see it. I'm like, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, if you work with me, I'm just gonna talk shit and just make jokes all day. Yeah. It's just. Well, it's just what I do. It's not meant to be taken serious. So, I mean, people who know me know that, but I guess online people.
One of my good friends is having Kyle bought an Indian, dude. I feel like he did it completely to just fuck with me, like you were actually.
Yeah. He's just richer than me. He can fuck with you on a different level. If I had the money, I'd have done it just to fuck with you too.
Yeah, but dude, to this day, I mean, dude, he did a video the other day where it's got my name on it. It's like, all right. I like that shit. That's what you're supposed to do as friends is bust each other's balls.
I've realized it's like, I know you can take it. Like, cause I mean, I've gone on shit like you said. Yeah. Sometimes I was explaining this to Marcus one time at that bike night I went to that you didn't show up for. You know, I go to one a year. I didn't know you weren't going to come.
Dude, I was in fucking college or Oklahoma, man.
But like, I was telling him, I was like, you know, it's like sometimes they're somewhat directed at you, but not in like a mean way. It's just I'm listening. It's not like I just sit there all day thinking of memes.
Yeah.
But you'll be having a conversation on here, and I'm like, oh shit. Like I just got a joke to say, and I can't say it on the podcast. I'm not on it. So it's like just make a meme out of it, you know. And so there's not many other people I'm just listening to all day to really get material from.
Exactly.
But unless I happen, sometimes I'll just go on Dinaholics just to find something, you know, because you can find them talking about something stupid and turn it into a meme. But you know, I was watching White Men Can't Jump the other day because Glenda's never seen it.
It's a good movie.
You know, she hasn't seen many movies from the 90s because she wasn't here.
Yeah.
But we were watching that, you know, all the shit talking and stuff, you know, just nonstop. And I was like, man, see, I was like, that's how I grew up.
That is how I grew up.
And I was like, that's what I was saying. I was like, I think that's why it doesn't bother Jace. I'm like, I don't think everyone grew up that way.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
I know you grew up around more brothers, and so did I. And I don't know if
I
that's
played
like
basketball too, and like you have to have a level of shit talk that if you're having a bad day on the court and you're not doing well, you still got to talk shit harder than the other guy, so that they're like, he ain't making his shots, but you know he keeps getting on me.
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean?
I don't think everyone grew up that way, like
man.
that kind of shit talking. But that's how it was for me in school. Like you had to.
You know, like I said, growing up and playing basketball like that, especially on outside of school.
Yeah.
When you're at the basketball court, if you can't talk shit and you take it seriously, you kind of start getting picked on at that point.
Oh, for sure.
And then you become the dude to fuck with, right?
Yeah.
So even if your comeback ain't great, you got to make it look like it just fucking skated right over you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't let that shit bother you.
Yeah, because it's more like, dude, it's almost like when someone falls and you naturally laugh because that's what you're supposed to do if you're from the 90s.
Yeah.
If they take it seriously, you're like, now I can't hold it back. But it's just weird, man. I don't want to say that I think that all these cultures, because these are older men too, that get all butthurt. I just think that people get tribalistic so much now with the bike, with what they do on the bike or the area. Like everything is like, you take this very small industry and I'm going to find me a fucking piece of this pie and it's going to be this or die. And that's not how you evolve in this. And
I don't get the whole it's going to be this or die, like whether it's Dyna's, FXRs, or whatever bike. It's like, I feel like that's like saying, man, when I was a kid, I tried chocolate ice cream. Never tried another flavor of ice cream because chocolate forever. It's like, no, bro. Like, some days I'm in the mood for chocolate. Sometimes I want some cookie dough. Like, I mean,
get that strawberry,
I'll get
bro.
some mint chocolate chip. Like, I mean, just like with bikes. I mean, I see it the same way. It's like, yeah, I like FXRs, but I'm gonna try some other bikes
How
too.
come it's okay for an FXR guy to go to an adventure bike but not a Goldwing? Because almost everybody's done the adventure bike thing. A lot of dudes.
I would say almost everybody, but no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But just like I didn't catch shit when I had the chopper.
Yeah.
But I mean, granted, I guess I had that beforehand. But I don't know. I think for whatever reason, so many people's identity gets wrapped up in their bike, where you want to say it's because they got nothing else going on in their life or what. And then you combine that with the fact they get, for whatever reason, I guess people are looking up to me and I'm letting them down. But the biggest mistake you've ever made in life is looking up to me.
Yeah.
Because don't put your faith in me.
Yeah.
I mean, to to stay on one path or something because I'll be all over. That's
not how evolution works. That's not how you grow as a person. Like I do love FXRs, and that I'm so stoked to have another one. But it took me almost 2 years to get back on another FXR.
Yeah,
and because
there's a lot of great bikes.
Yeah, but
I mean, there's a lot of good bikes out there.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like this simple as that. Like, you see a bike you like, why not try that out?
Yeah, just ride it. I mean, I think that like, dude, there was a whole point in time too where all the Houston homies, all the pterodactyl dudes down there, they were all fucking buying Goldwings.
I didn't even know.
You remember when like Dylan had a Goldwing and fucking Dave? You know Dave. Like I think they all had Goldwings at one point. And they were stripping them down though, like trying to like take some of the fairings off, and they had more exposed. Like they were they looked like they were making them like Dynas or some shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, like, why does it matter? I guess maybe for your stature, if you would even call it that, like, it's just the fact that, like, you've been FXR Mike since Instagram was Instagram, basically, right?
Yeah.
And then you've also helped countless people find good deals, get good parts, hooked people up with shit, helped people out tremendously here and there. Who is it?
My daughter.
Oh, she's like, Daddy, you're on TV. And you've done that for everybody. And so when you like go to the Goldwing, it was almost weird.
Pause it for 1 second?
Yeah.
I can't text her anything. Hello? Hello? Oh, I missed it. All right.
But yeah, can't really pause the live stream, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I can't text her either, so.
Gotta pay the bill?
No, she don't have a phone. She just calls me from the Alexa.
Oh, that's fucking fancy, dude. You got Alexa?
She does. That's how she listens to music and shit.
Nice. But no, man, like I said, I think that a lot of people just have looked at you as kind of like an FXR shaman, more or less. Like somebody that people, it's almost like some people they got their toes in it, but they want to know that there's somebody that's hardcore in it because it makes it solidify the scene, if you will.
I guess, yeah.
You know, there's got to be something there underlying. There's no way that it could make any other sense for someone to have such a beef with it. You know what I mean? Because no one gave you the bike. You bought a Goldwing because you wanted to try it. It looked like fun.
Yeah.
And how badass is it?
Dude, it's the best thing ever. I mean, it's really amazing. Like the bang for your buck, I don't think there's a better motorcycle out there. Not for touring. I mean, I guess there's different things for different bikes, but
yeah.
I mean, for how much bike you get for how little money, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I guess I'll explain how that got started because I
don't even know how you got into the Goldwing.
So, me and Dusty are always about some ridiculous shit. Just to start off, as far as bikes go, we're definitely not. I mean, we met. That Dusty's the guy whose truck we flipped. He was with me.
Yeah.
I know you know that, but so when we met was at Just Kickers, like 1 or 2. So this was like 10 years ago, and I was riding my KZ, and he was on his shovel head. We met at a gas station. You see, he comes up, and he's like, "Oh man, that's a nice KZ," and I'm like, "You don't get that very often."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "That's cool." He's like, "I got KZ at the house." So I was like, "That's funny. I got a shovel head at the house." So and then bam, best friends.
Yeah.
You know, and so then, you know, we've had all different kinds of bikes. We both kind of we weren't even talking when we both got an FXRs. He got one and I got one. I don't even remember who got one first. But it was actually like a year that we hadn't even, you know, because we didn't actually become best friends right then. We just kind of stayed in touch.
Knew of each other, yeah.
Yeah. And then we both ended up on FXRs too and still doing choppers and everything. And, you know, so we've just never been, like I've had my KZ one. I had the KZ then I had a KZ 1000 Police.
Whose 83 did he buy?
The RT?
Yeah.
He won that in a raffle.
That's
from
right.
Joe.
That was a really
He's
nice
one of those guys like you were just talking about the raffles with Aaron. He bought one. That was the first raffle he got in. He bought one ticket and won.
Yeah, he's that one and done guy, huh?
Yeah.
We can talk about that after this.
But so, you know, we've just, I mean, we like some ridiculous choppers too, like just very unconventional shit for the most part. And then our friend, we never really thought about going. It wasn't really on our radar. I'd been thinking about getting another KZ police bike just because they're great bikes also for the money, but they're getting a little more pricey. Like when I bought my last one, I got it for $800. My other KZ I spent like $700 on. Now they're getting up to like the $2,000, $2,500 range, and it's still worth it. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to spend that for one, unless it was like really clean, all the stuff still on it. So our other friend Josh, motorcycle dork on Instagram, FXR
Good
Josh
guy.
previously.
He's got one of my favorite FXR, the RD, right? He still has RD, right?
No, he's got his RD, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. He got Goldwing GL 1500.
That's right. He did do that.
88 to 2000 is that generation.
Uh-huh.
He got one of those. Didn't really post much, posted like one or two. Me and Dust were like, "Oh man, that's awesome." You know, we have a group chat with him too, and we're like, "That thing's awesome." And so he sends us like a video and stuff, and he's showing us all stuff. And if you've ever met Josh, or if he's ever sent you a video, you know, like nobody's a better salesman just because he gets so genuinely excited about everything. He's just such a happy guy that he's just like, "Dude, you gotta check this out." And he's like showing us how the bags open, the trunk opens, all the stupid little gadgets that are on it because it's got so many cool little features.
Yeah.
And, you know, they got the reverse and all these little things that, like, you wouldn't, I guess it's just very well thought out, especially coming from a Harley.
Yeah.
You know, like, everything's planned. So he sends us this video, and we're like, dude, that's pretty cool. And then so we're talking, we go to the FXR jam on the West Coast one, and we're hanging out with Josh, like, the whole weekend. And we're like all upset, like, you should have brought the Goldwing out. And he's like, I had to bring the FXR to the FXR jam. We're like, we want to see the Goldwing. But he didn't. So we're just talking about it. And then on the way home, before the accident, actually, we were sitting there talking. And we're like, dude, we should just get one. Because we were looking them up. And you get a Goldwing for like $1,000 on the cheap end to like $2,500 for like, you know, a pretty nice one. And like that age range. And we're just talking about, we're like, dude, we should just do it. And then like, let's do like a big trip on it and everything. And we'll just agree to at least keep it a year. And if nothing else, we're like, we spend $1,500 and we're like, in 10 years now, we're like, dude, remember that year we bought Goldwings?
That's
like,
dope.
How fucking,
that's dope.
We'd be like, how ridiculous was that, right? Uh-huh. And we're both like, dude, I mean, we're like, we could afford who can't afford $1,500 to just have a good time? So we're like, it was kind of a plan, but like nothing solidified. But we're like, that would be a great plan, right?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, like 2 hours later, we flipped a trailer. And so, you know, once all the dust settled I guess the dust hadn't even settled, but on the way back, we're all talking about, like, okay, what the fuck we gonna do? That's his work truck, you know, it's his welding rig. It just totaled out. You know, both my bikes were technically totaled. Like, it was kind of, my insurance told me, the adjuster's like, which way do you want to go? You know, I could total them out or I could not, you know, depending on how you want to do it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't total them out. But so I'm like, you know, trying to think, okay, what am I, you know, I got to rebuild this one, rebuild that. I'm trying to make plans and stuff. And then like somewhere on the way back, we're like, dude, just get the fucking Goldwings. Like, fuck rebuilding these bikes. Like, both my running bikes are down. I'm like, I don't want to be without a bike, and I don't really want to rush like throwing one of them back together either. Mm-hmm. So we're just like, hey, this is the year. We'll just laugh about this. You know, we thought it'd just be funny. We're like, we both knew we've had Japanese bikes. We're not gonna hate them. So like, we knew that, but we didn't think we really love them either. We just thought, like I said, it'd be funny. We'll plan a trip, whatever it is. What we're thinking, like somewhere further, like maybe Michigan or some shit like that, and we'll go do that and then come back, and it'll just be this great memory we had from, you know, that 1 year we had Goldwings. Yeah. But then we pick up the Goldwings, and everything fucking changed because we hadn't even rode one at that point. You know, this is all just
kind of bought one unseen. What made you want to go with that year?
88. Okay, 88 to 2000.
Yeah.
GL 1500. Before that was the 1200. After that are the 1800s. I was doing it because at first I was going to do a 1200. Kind of like the way 1200s look because they're a little older. They're the 80s, and it's, you know, pre-88, so 80, they're like 87 or some shit, and they look kind of cool. But then I was like, I was starting to get deep into it because I'm a fucking nerd. Yeah. And the GL 1500 is when the Goldwing became the Goldwing. Like, they'd been out since like the 70s, right? Yeah. But that's when they got reversed. They got covered in plastic. They looked like minivans on two wheels, you know. And like before that, they didn't have all those features. They were just, you know, a touring bike. Yeah. But they're like a lot of other bikes. But in the 88, when that came out, that's when they got the cruise control. They got the reverse. The bags are all like built into the bike and stuff. Like, you can't run them without bags. I mean, you can, but it looks ridiculous, you know? Yeah. Like, they are part of the bike. They got, like I said, the side covers, there's plastic everywhere. They're water cooled. They got all these things, you know, the radio, and it just, you know, fully built. What you think of a Goldwing, just absolute ridiculousness.
Lights.
Yeah, lights everywhere, heater, all that kind of stuff. Like the full ridiculous thing. I'm like, So I told Dusty, I'm like, dude, if we're doing a Goldwing, we gotta go like fully Goldwing. You know, we can't just get like another old Japanese bike. We both had old Japanese bikes. And that's kind of what the earlier Goldwings were like. So like, we gotta go all in. We're not gonna half-ass this. So that's when we got that. So we bumped our price up a little bit because $1,500, you're kind of getting a junky one unless you're really patient, which we weren't.
Yeah.
So, but if you spend $2,000 to $3,000, that's pretty much what all of them go for. It's like $2,000 to $3,000, a good, nice running one, $2,000 to $3,000, and you're just basically picking your color at that point because mileage doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, they're like the diesels of the goddamn motorcycle world.
I mean, I've never seen more, like looking for Goldwings for like 2 months, I've never seen more motorcycles for sale with like over 200,000 miles on them. It's just, like mine has 150,000. Like it just, they say it just doesn't matter. Like if anything, you want a high mileage one more than a low mileage one because it's been ridden, probably taken care of. Because that's the other thing is they're taken care of for the most part. Either they've been neglected because they got pushed out because they take up a lot of room in the garage, so someone left them outside a long time. If not, nobody's first, this is my theory, nobody's first bike is a Goldwing. Nobody has a midlife crisis at like 35, 40 and goes out and buys a Goldwing to ride to Starbucks.
Yeah.
You get with Harleys. And then you got these guys who don't know fuck all about motorcycles and they're trying to work on it and they're jacking shit up and stuff. Doesn't happen Goldwing. Someone who gets a Goldwing is generally somebody who's been riding most of their life, maybe an older gentleman. You know, he might have rode dirt bikes as a kid or, you know, other bikes. And this is kind of what he's graduated to. So he already knows how to maintain his bike. He knows how to take care of it. He's not buying it to look cool, like as a midlife crisis thing. He's buying it because he wants to go ride it and put miles on it. So they probably took care of it. And all the ones I looked at, that seemed to be the case.
They're pretty fast too, right?
Yeah, it's faster than a stock Evo. I mean, to my knowledge, there's not a whole lot you do to them. Like most people don't really build them to go faster, but it's kind of like a hopped up 80-inch is the way I explain it. A lot faster than you would think they are because they are heavy, but they're like the weight of a Harley bagger. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like they're as ridiculous heavy as I think some people think, but they handle really well because there's no weight up top. It's got a 6-cylinder engine that's down low. The fuel tank is down low. It's underneath the seat. Yeah. And so all the weight's down low. The center of gravity is really low. So they actually handle really well for what they are. I mean, I was just riding Jade's KTM 1290 today, and it does not handle like that. But, you know, it handles really well. Yeah.
But it's also what year is yours?
Mine's a 95. But from 88 to 2000, they barely changed. Very minor things, like almost nothing. So that's how we ended up with the Goldwing. That's how we ended up with that generation.
Did Dusty get the same kind of slack for going to Goldwings that you did?
No, but neither did Josh. Okay. But like I guess somehow my identity got tied up with the FXRs or something, or more people follow me just for FXRs or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't give a fuck. Like I mean, if I have 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers, not like I'm making money off that shit. So
it doesn't matter.
Who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. I'm glad I'm not in the motorcycle stuff for any kind of business purposes, because I'd be horrible. But I'd have to more watch what I say and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so that's how that all came about. And then I guess real quick, I mean, how we got them is we found them, right? And like I say, basically picking colors, because condition, either they're dogged out because they got left outside for 20 years or they're in good condition. Pretty much there's no middle ground. So we were trying to find the colors we really like. Dusty's wanting a brown, and he found like one in Chicago he really liked that had a matching trailer, had like some custom airbrushing on it, like it had Honey Bear written on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, this thing was bad as fuck, right?
That's kind of like, I imagine like, it's maybe not the midlife crisis, but it's like the mid-relationship crisis with like an old man and his old lady, and they got to do it together, and she gets to have whatever she wants painted on the tour pack, and he gets to be the lone wolf in the front, and she's the...
Well, we're going to the Wingding this year, all of us, because like the Wingding is real. It might sound like that's a joke, but that's...
But what if you go there and they just fucking party, dude, and you're like, holy shit, like this is the most chopper shit I've ever been to.
Oh, trust me, that's what we're wondering. Yeah. Like I am gonna be. I was telling Josh this the other day because
is Josh gonna go?
People who bought Goldwings. First off, FXR guys. This was in our little group. We started a whole group on it, like trying to recruit people. Like Josh had one first, and then me and Dusty were looking for one, and then we're trying to get Nick on board. Right? Nick wasn't really about it, so I call up his best friend out there. Can't stop the mullet. Yeah, Greg Farnsworth. and he's got like really badass FXR. And I tell him, I'm like, dude, you got to get a Goldwing because Nick won't get on board. So all of his best friends have to get one, so that way he feels left out.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was it. He goes, I'm in, and the very next day he bought one. Like, that's how long it took him to get one.
So is Nick still on the fence, or
no? He doesn't have one. He got one for a minute and then got rid of it.
Would you think that if Nick got one, he would get some pretty heavy slack?
He got one for like a minute, but he didn't really have the room. He's got so much going on right now.
Yeah, he does.
And so he kind of got peer pressured into it real quick and got one, but then he sold like a week later just because, like I said, he's got like 3 builds going on. He's got the bikes going. He's got the book going. He's got some hard parts coming out. He was too swamped to be. Yeah. Like I said, it takes up as much room as a small fucking car in your garage.
It's like a little Honda Civic in your garage.
It is.
So where's the wing ding at?
It moves around. But this thing is actually huge. It's been going on for a long time. It's been going on like something like 30 years.
That's dope.
And they have, I'd have to look it up. I haven't looked it up in a minute. But like tens of thousands of bikes show up to this thing. It's really big. Yeah. And it moves around, but it's in Branson, Missouri this year, which almost sucks because it's here.
Yeah.
That's not far. So I was telling Dusty I might have to ride to Tennessee to meet him and then go there. Because I'm like, I feel like you go to a wing ding and you don't put down 1,000 miles to get there. That seems kind of like
maybe you guys should go do you guys should go do the Michigan loop and go through the UP and then come back around.
Maybe that'd
be a dope run.
Yeah, because I was like I can't do
take your Goldwing to Milwaukee to the Harley Museum. Dude, if you do that and get a picture with the Harley sign, that would be the fucking ultimate fuck everybody.
That's what I've been saying. It's like almost all of my clothes are either FXR Bazaar stuff, because Nick sends me stuff, or Dan's shirts. So they're all Harley shirts, like pretty much my entire wardrobe. So I'm like, I love going places on my Goldwing with like Harley shirts on. Like it's not even intentional, just all I own. Because I'm like, I know everyone's probably like anyone who rides Harleys is probably like, oh look at this guy, thinks he wants to be he wants a Harley and he's on a Goldwing and stuff. Yeah, this dude wishes he could afford a Harley.
You're like that stereotype, because I know exactly what you're saying. Like with the Harley guys, especially the like hell yeah brother ones, are like, he wishes he had this big wheel bagger and stuff like that. And it's like, meanwhile you do have them.
Yeah, I love it.
It's just like it's a troll. You're a fucking troll is what it is.
But the bike is awesome. But I try not to sell people on it because I was at first, like not purposely, and people ask. Yeah. And I'm like, I gotta slow down because it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want people going out there. No, it's not a lot of money. You can spend $2,000, go buy one. Maybe you love it, maybe you don't. I see no reason at all not to have one in your garage. If nothing else, you always have a bike that's ready to go.
Yeah.
If you've got 1 or 2 Harleys and hey, you want to do this, you want to pull the primary part to do a clutch or something, whatever it is, you want to build the motor, you never have to worry about not having a bike to ride.
Yeah.
Or if you want to set your bike up for just local Texas trips, but you don't really want it to be set up to do a 2,000-mile trip, you have a bike for that, that's comfortable for the wife to hop on. Just doesn't make sense. As cheap as they are, not if you have the room to not have one. But I tell people, I'm like, everything about it's amazing. Love it. Super smooth. It handles good, enough power for me at least, but I'm not coming from any monster bikes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got 0 complaints about it, but the one thing I say is like, I'm not even one of those guys who likes to go out and floss my bikes and everything. Like I don't go to bike nights. I don't go anywhere to even show off my bike except for like a couple shows a year. But when I'm like taking my chop or something, right? Like you go to the gas station, go kick it over and everything. It's like, you feel a little cool. Like I said, it's not, I'm one of the least people probably into that, but I still feel that. You feel it, you're kicking it over and you look around and you see people looking and you're like, yeah, that's right. Let's kick that motherfucker over. Yeah. It's a cool feeling.
Yeah.
I'm like, when you pull up on the Goldwing and you get gas, especially when riding bikes for 10, 15 years and, you're just kind of looking around and then you see people looking at you and like, nobody's thinking I'm fucking cool right now. It's like, that's a 0. Like you're leaving like a party or something. It's like, yeah, go hop on my bike. I hope not like, I hope somebody sees me leaving on this fucking thing. It's like, hope no one's outside when I leave. There is a little bit of that because there's 0 coolness. But as long as you don't care about that, it's the perfect fucking motorcycle. You just gotta understand.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's nothing cool about it. So if you're one of those people who that's your
at least
identity. Some part, because there is. I mean, even if I'm not even talking about like in a bad way, like to an extreme, but if that's something you really dig about your bike is like the attention you get. I don't know if you're gonna get it. Like, I mean, on the other side though, the weird thing is that I've gotten more like, you know, head nods and thumbs up and people rolling down their window on the Goldwing than every other bike I've had combined.
Damn.
Just in the like 6 months I've had.
Sounds like he's trying to sell us, bro.
No, I'm telling you, I tell people not to, because you gotta understand it's not cool. But for some reason, I do get a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I've talked to some of my black friends, and I get a lot from black people. And I was like, dude, is it the Goldwing or is it the purple? And they all say it's the purple, dude.
Okay.
So I think it could just be that.
Yeah.
It could just be that. Because I get a lot of brothers, like, they'll roll out with like, I like it, man, or some shit like that. You know, it's like, hell yeah. And I'm like, yeah, fucking cool, ain't it?
Yeah, dude.
But I think it's the purple. That's what I've heard from my friends. It's the purple.
Do y'all have y'all's own, like, you know how Harleys will drop the hand, you know? Do y'all have y'all's own little
I like
thing?
fly by like this.
I couldn't tell you because even on my Harleys, on my choppers, whatever,
But you gotta do it with rings, like gold rings.
I wave at every bike. Not like in a, like, I don't care, not everyone. If I'm in the middle of a turn, I don't like take it serious, and I don't give a fuck if everyone waves back to me. But I just like, I'm having fun when I'm on a bike. I'm usually in a good fucking mood.
Yeah.
And I do the full overhead wave, but I always have. I'll tell you, it started when that dude, I've told you a story, like, dude let me ride his knucklehead back from Just Kickers.
Yeah.
My bike blew up. He said, we put it on a trailer, but you got to ride one of my knuckles. He had brought like 3 knuckleheads and 2 flatheads. He was riding one. Other ones were on the trailer that his wife was driving. And he's like, I don't got room for your bike unless you ride knuckle. I was like, I'm not riding your bike. You know, I'm like, I hope you know I'm poor as fuck. I have like $20 to my name.
Yeah.
If I wreck this thing, it's like, I feel like an asshole because I can't replace anything. He's like, dude, it doesn't matter. You wreck it, something breaks, I'll fix it. He goes, that's what happens. I was like, if you insist, because I do need her way home.
Yeah.
And so I rode it home, and I'm riding with this dude, old guy. He was one of the guys who put on Just Kickers. And he started, I was like, I did it. I'm like, dude, that feels good. I was like, that feels good. The little over the head wave at everybody. Yeah. I'm like, this dude's riding a fucking badass knucklehead chopper and stuff.
Yeah.
Just, you know, he'd see just a sport bike ride. Hey, how's it going? I'm like, and like I said, I tried it, and I was like, dude, it just makes you feel better. It's not all tough guy like down low. Or it's just like, it's just, dude, I'm having a great fucking time. Are you having a great fucking time? And that shit was contagious.
Dude,
Ever since then, I've been on that shit. I think
that's going to be my new wave. It's kind of like more like that's Hitler.
I don't know if that's the move.
I don't know if that's the move, but maybe I should bring it in. Like,
yeah,
hey,
you can bring it in.
Hey.
Yeah, going out, not so much.
Hey. That's definitely not
good. No, dude, just try it. Try the overhead wave, man.
Overhead, hey.
Just hey.
You gotta like grab it. Hey.
Yeah, like there you go, man.
Back and forth.
You can't do that without smiling though.
Oh, when you got a full
I'm just
face.
No, you can't not.
Yeah, like it's like the way your arm goes up, it just creates a natural smile.
Yeah, and then you're in a good mood.
Yeah.
Like, tell you, man, like I said, it's all about having fun, dude.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
have
I
a
do
good
that,
time.
Like when I walk up and all my friends are like at bike night,
Try it on the bike.
Try it on the bike.
I'm gonna fucking do it.
I mean, mopeds, everybody, man. Everybody gets a wave.
I've had fun on mopeds.
I've never been on one.
Dude, they're fun as shit.
I say all the time, dude, 2 wheels is fun. I don't care. Yeah. I've yet to be on anything that's 2 wheels that wasn't fun.
I think it's all perspective, man. Like when it like you said it earlier, and I hate to generalize with people because I definitely have my faults when it's like I do feel cooler on my bagger or I felt cooler on my FXR.
I feel cooler on my chopper or anything else. Everyone gets that feeling.
But there is that fine line where you don't want it to become you're only cool because you have this bike.
Yeah.
Because I honestly
or you're only riding it because it makes you feel cool.
Yeah.
Like that's just a bonus. You should be riding it because it's fun.
I think that cool is like just how people carry themselves. You know, because sometimes like you ever just meet a guy who just like he's got his shit together, and I just when I talk to this guy, I feel like I just feel better. I'm happy. Like this guy just talks so nice, and he's so presented, and like I want to be like this guy. He fucking has this shit together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's cool. You know, being douchey and or cunty and all those other words, and you know, whatever other demeanor that you're gonna put out because you have to look a certain way, like that shit ain't cool, man.
No.
Big hardcore bikers all the time, everything's serious, can't play.
Oh, I mean, hell, you just had Corey on, and I think I told Corey this before too. Like me and Dusty have both talked about like when like I first met Corey at Chopper Supply one time, but it was just a quick hello, you know, he didn't know who I was and stuff, but I had been following him. I just met him real quick, didn't really talk. But then one of his years at Giddy Up, I started like questioning him a bunch about his bike that was there because I was looking at it and he happened to be there. And like I said, I knew who he was.
Was it when he brought the Sporty up?
It may have been.
Because I remember you walked over to me because we all had that big booth with Mark. That was the year that you brought the sidecar there.
Yeah, that was the year.
And he had that Sporty, that girder front end, because at the time you were wanting to build a girder front end for your People's Champ bike.
Yeah. But actually, it was him and JP did this too, JP Rodman. Both of them. I was looking at their bikes and having me around. I was like, dude, I love the bike. You know, it's like, I dig this. Like, okay, that bike, say, like the girder. I like how you did this and stuff. And both of them were just like, didn't know who I was, but like so appreciative. Not like, you know, because I've gone to, I've told some other dudes too, and I get it. Like, you know, sometimes you're busy, you're at shows, a lot of stuff. And you know, there's like, I've had guys just turn around, you know, it's like you say that, and like, you're not even gonna recognize.
I'm the worst at that, dude.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I try to hold people. I know like it gets hectic at shows, but both of them though, like, I told them when they're both just like, so like, dude, really? Like, you really think so, man? And I'm like, not even know who I was, you know, just like, dude, thank you so much, man. It means a lot. And I'm like, just nice guys, like you're saying, like those kind of people who are just good people.
You really feel like they gave you they're attentive to you. Like when you say something to them, or like you really feel like they're listening to you. I mean, a lot of times we don't listen; we just listen to talk. And I'm guilty of that shit too. But yeah, I mean, Corey's like one of those dudes that, like, if you ran to Corey at a fucking grocery store, you would never think a chopper builder.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's just the thing about it. Like, you know, it's what's cool about bikers nowadays, I think, is that we don't necessarily all look leathered out and fucking, you know, have this look that we like. You would think with Corey should have rings on his fingers or some shit.
Sounds like you would have a fun time at the Wingding.
Yeah, I might, dude. I party. I like to party.
But
bro.
no, going back there, I didn't finish that one. The Wingding, like me and Josh are talking, like I feel like I'm gonna be super, super let down if I go there and it feels just like a Harley rally. Like, I'm totally expecting it to be like the dorkiest thing ever.
Dude, what if
it probably isn't gonna be, but I'm like totally expecting it to, like, you know, to see some pocket protectors out there and stuff, and just like super nerd level. And if it's just like, you know, just guys selling leather and stuff like that, I'll be like, what the fuck, man? I could have just gone to Sturgis. Did I really just waste vacation going to the Wingding for this shit?
Dude, what if they like just got nude chicks everywhere and they just fucking party?
I'm like, dude, that's the other thing. I'm thinking like, what if it's all just like accountants and Wall Street dudes and just blow everywhere and naked chicks, and it's just like, dude, it's gonna be a fucking good time. It's gonna be a hell of a weekend.
Yeah, you're gonna pull up. It's gonna be like the Tokyo Drift song. bunch of Japanese dude.
Dude, I have no idea what to expect. That's the thing.
Well, there is that kind of. It's really weird because bikes kind of. Well, I think all the Harley shit has there's parts of it like. You go to Sturgis, you can see like the older generation style of things, but then you also got the campground, so you get the newer. Actually, at the campground we stay at, you go 3 campsites over, that shit is fucking 80s goddamn Easy Rider.
Yeah.
You go 3 campsites the other way, it's a motorhome, and there's beads everywhere, and, you know, blow up dolls and shit. And then you come to ours, and it's just like it's all different shit, but the same bikes in the same place, right?
Yeah.
But there's got to be a different thing because like sport bike events, you know what I mean? Like the stunt shows or stunt rides, and those chicks are out there getting naked too and fucking partying, and everybody's doing dumb shit.
I'm expecting this at the Wingding.
Yeah, it'd be wild. You should definitely video things.
I'm excited. I am so stoked to see what I don't know. I'm just hoping it's something different.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like worn out on Harley stuff. I'm just hoping they got like their own thing though. Like, it's not just like a knockoff Harley rally.
Well, that's how you evolve. I mean, like, what if you go there and there's something badass and you come back and tell us, and I go and I'm like, fuck, this is the way we should have been doing our camp out.
I mean, either that or you just go and you like something badass and you just implement it to whatever. You know, it's like, dude, they were doing this way cooler. We got to do that. You know? Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Exactly. That's what I think. You know, make it.
I'm all about new experiences.
For sure, yeah. That's how you grow, man. You try new shit, go to new places, and it changes your perspective, and you evolve. That's how that works. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm stoked. I think it's funny. Like,
but you could go to the Wingding just funny? So you know this isn't the FXR Jam. This is the Wingding. They're not kicking people out. This is a very accepting group. They even say like it's the Wingding for Goldwings. But you know, if you're in a touring bike, come join us.
Yeah. They're trying to convert you. That sounds like some gay shit right there.
There's a lot of gay shit going on in this community, but
but the I think I had a point. I lost it though. No, I understand what you mean.
It's just in Branson, dude. If that's too far for you on a Harley, I get it, man.
But when is it though?
When is it? I don't fucking know. Josh keeps talking about that. He's like, dude, have we booked a room yet? Have we gotten a room? Because him and Greg are riding out from California. And
I'm gonna look it up right now.
That's what I'm doing.
But yeah, it's sometime in the summer. You know, I guess that makes sense, right?
Wing Ding 2021. It's number 3 on the search. Wing Ding, the world's largest touring motorcycle rally.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's
That's
go.
what I mean, like, they're. It's a very inclusive group. They're not being elitist about anything.
July 29th through July 3rd, or June 29th through July 3rd. Springfield Expo Center in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah.
So it's Springfield.
Oh, is it Springfield?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't plan stuff. You should know this by now. I just
Wing Ding 42, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, 42.
That's crazy.
Yeah, never even knew about it.
That's fucking awesome.
I mean, there's a whole world out there we don't even know about with motorcycles. We
Yeah.
gotta get out there and live some more, man.
you got to take some chances with our motorcycles, man. But other than that, though, I mean, you're having fun. The more important thing is like one of your best friends is on this bike with you, and other great friends you have are coming together. And at the end of the day, like that's what the shit's about. Like if all of my friends, every one of my closest friends, went and got a bike that's kind of off the radar, and they're having fun on it, I'm gonna end up doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean I'm gonna get rid of my performance bagger, my FXR, or any of that shit. But
I mean, I'm not either. I'm not getting rid of my FXRs or choppers.
But you know, I mean, it'd be different to like, hey, we're all going into big trucks with poked out, lifted trucks. Like, I'm not really into that, and I can't afford it. But if everybody goes and gets little fucking $3,000 Vespas or some shit,
so I mean, especially at the price range, you're talking about like dropping $2,000 on a bike, like
they can travel.
That's not much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you've been doing Harleys and stuff. It's like, see, I could buy a new fairing for my bike, or I could buy an entire motorcycle that'll last like 300,000 miles.
Yeah.
That's a tough one,
man. So what, as far as like, you know, you just raffled off the RT, the Krusty Glide. And I had Aaron, we did a podcast last night together, and we were kind of trying to talk about it because
I didn't get very far into it. By the time I figured out how to do the Patreon thing, work was almost done.
So we talked a little bit about the you know, just the way he's been doing the raffle thing.
Yeah,
what he does is he basically he lost a couple, but he won one, and he took the winnings from that one and kept reinvesting it. But yeah, it's so weird how so many people don't want people that buy a lot of tickets to win. I mean, I guess it's the underdog thing, right? Is what it is. Is it like we do want to see a guy like Dusty who throws $100 on the table get a badass 83 RT?
I don't think. I mean, I think there is that. Like, people always want the underdog to win for sure. They want that guy with like who bought one ticket who really can't. You know, maybe he's riding a clapped out whatever, Dyna or FXR or
he's probably
Sportster
winning
or
a clapped out Dyna or FXR.
And, you know, he doesn't, you know, he can't afford something, you know, a nicer bike, and they want to see that guy win.
Yeah.
But I feel like also a lot of people don't seem to even notice who wins if it's not themselves or somebody they know.
Yeah.
I think where some of his stuff comes more in is the selling it side, which, you know, that's the second bike I raffled off. The first one, the dude also sold. He sold like a month later. He was laid off of work and stuff, and he hit me up. He's like, hey, man, do you mind if I sell? And I told him, I was like, dude, that's your bike.
Yeah.
I was like, you won it fair and square, in my opinion. I'm like, you could go drive it into the ocean. You could sell it for $2,000. You could sell it for $20,000. I'm like, that's what you do with it has zero to do with me. It's just like you bought the bike. If you bought the bike from me, you wouldn't be asking me permission to do anything with it.
Yeah.
It's your bike. You know, and I've said the same thing. I've seen some guys sell some of Joe's bikes, you know, and they catch shit online too. And you should re-raffle it or this or that, or, you know, I can't believe you're asking like the Liberty one. You know, he was selling that. You're gonna ask $20,000 for that bike when you won it for $100? And it's like, well, yeah, okay, it's worth at least. It's a deal at $20,000. Exactly. So I mean, it's like, so I win, I get $20,000. You win because you got a bike that's probably worth like $23,000, $25,000. I don't know how you value that kind of bike. But I definitely put it over 20, so you're getting a deal. And it's like, I mean, who's losing here? It's the way I see it. And I'm like, but even if somebody is losing, if he listed it for 50 grand, who gives a fuck? He won. He took the risk.
Yeah.
He took the risk, bought the ticket, and it's his bike to do what he wants.
It's so weird how, like, when the raffle thing first started kind of coming into the space of motorcycles, at first everybody wasn't about it. Obviously we've talked about this on the podcast before, where a lot of people were raffling bikes that weren't worth anything. And now that's kind of, not that it doesn't still exist, but it's kind of leveled out a little bit. Now there's a new complaint. You're not supposed to sell the bike or do something.
No, I think that was going on even before. It's just but usually I don't know what those people are thinking, because if we're being real, this is the way I see it, is I don't think a lot of raffles would even sell out if there was a requirement you had to keep the bike, because I'd say probably 50% of the people buying it plan to sell it. Do they plan to sell it sometimes as fast as Aaron does? But Aaron doesn't need it. It's not even like he has a bike. And so it's like he could enjoy this one. He's got, like 5 bikes. So it's not.
Well, he's only got 2 bikes.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah.
No, I was wrong. I thought he had more than that.
Yeah, well, no.
So, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, it is. He won 7 bikes over the last year and a half.
So it's hard. And then I know he's also had a couple built, too.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's the thing, though. But another key point, as you said, is that a lot of times people are having a hard time filling the raffles.
That's what I mean. If it weren't for guys, I mean, I would say at least half the bikes that I've bought raffle tickets for, I plan on selling. Like, especially the ones in California. Like, I'm like, it's good odds. Like, there's a couple, like John Long did a couple with like some RTs. It was like, I think it was like 17 or 18 grand, was the raffle. And I was like, those odds aren't bad. I'll buy a ticket. I got $100 burning all in my pocket. I'll buy a ticket and I'll just list it for sale in California for like 9 grand. It'll sell in a day. It's already in California.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I just made 9 grand. I was like, those odds were worth it for me. But
see, it also, the raffle thing, it helps. Like, say, I think I used this analogy last night with Aaron. But I said, if I would have finished my gold FXR, I had 24,000 of my own dollars into this bike, on top of actually putting it together and painting it. So roughly, you're looking at a $35,000 FXR. Ain't nobody buying a $35,000 FXR. It ain't happening.
But that's like what you said about the them getting a little out of control, the raffles, for earlier, like, what was it, like a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, where like people taking, like, what is a flip bike? Like, they'd go buy an FXR for $4 grand and raffle it for 10. And it's like, this is just a clapped out FXR that it's literally like any of the ones that you could find on Craigslist right now or Marketplace for $4,500, like an 88 FXR, and they're raffling it. They've just bought it. They didn't do shit to it, and they're going to raffle it for 10 grand. And like from the get-go, I always felt like, and we talked about this when we started doing the raffles, is like, it should be a bike that you can't really just go buy. Mm-hmm. Like, whether it's like maybe a limited edition, like a Liberty or an anniversary, one of the CVOs or something. Yeah. Or it's a fully built bike like you're talking about, to where not many people can afford to buy it. Yeah. And it's already done. It's a turnkey bike. Just something special, not just your average run-of-the-mill FXR that you can just find anywhere on Craigslist. Just because it just made more sense. And then as they've gone on, I mean, people always talk about the value and stuff. And I mean, I've even talked about it before, but it's more like you've got a $10,000 bike that you're trying to raffle for like 22. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like that's when it's getting ridiculous. I think everyone who's done a raffle, whether they admit it or not, has put it about at least like $2-3 grand. Like, you got an $8,000 FXR, you're raffling it for 10. And you can call that whatever. I mean, there's the work. There is work. You kind of, especially if you plan on selling it out fast, you're kind of by your phone for the next 3 days. Like, you're kind of glued to your phone and writing all this down. You got to, write down all the chips, and there's that work. There's the risk of PayPal locking your account because they found out you did a raffle because somebody complained. I've heard about that happening before, where people complain because they didn't win, and then they tell PayPal they want their money back and all this and that, so your account could get locked down. Yeah, and then they'll lock your account, and Steve Chamberlain talked about how much fun that is. Yeah. But so there is risk involved. So okay, maybe you add a couple grand. It's a $8,000 bike, you raffle it for 10. If it's a 10,000, maybe 13. Something like that. You do tack on a little. I think everyone does. But, I mean, who's really losing? Like I said, it's one thing if you're trying to double your money on it or triple your money. But, everyone getting in knows the odds beforehand. It's not like, you said 1,000 tickets and then you add it to 1,500 halfway through, and those first guys are like, yo, what the fuck? I mean, it is what it is. But if even the bigger overpriced ones, if everyone's happy with it who played, is it that bad?
Even if to play on the analogy that I said with my bike, my Gold FXR, if I would have built it, finished it, I knew it was solid, ready for you to ride and put miles on, and I put it up for $35,000 to raffle it, somebody's going to go, it ain't worth that.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to go, that's overpriced.
Like you said, somebody said it about mine. But did you listen to the Joe Rogan about the guy who was on the Social Dilemma, that podcast he did, that guy?
Tristan.
I want to say it was that one where he was talking about how, you have 100 comments on a post. Talking about how, awesome something was. And one guy will say something negative, and that's what you focus on. It's the same thing you're saying. It pissed me off when, it was more than one, a couple people were talking shit about me raffling bike because I took money for the accident and stuff. But whatever. But it is easy to focus in on that. But who gives a fuck? That's just one stupid person, Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, who really gives a fuck? That's the way I was looking at it. When a few people said, I made the post clarifying because I wanted to make sure anyone who did help us out, because it helped me and Dusty a ton at the time, knew the story. If other people were thinking that, I used this money, because nobody knew how much money we got total. People knew, this guy probably knew somebody threw in 100, this guy threw in 50 and stuff. They don't know. For all they know, I got 10 grand out the deal, So I wanted to make sure it was clear, I didn't just take a bunch of people's money to rebuild a bike just to raffle it off.
Raffle it, yeah.
Like I said, that shit didn't even cover half of my tickets. And, but like I said, it was, I'm not complaining it wasn't enough money. I'm just saying it wasn't that's what I used the money for. We used the money to pay our friend who picked us up. Shout out to Ben. He heard he's not on social media, but he heard about the accident.
Yeah.
He hopped in his truck and drove right out there. And, that money helped in those things. We paid him. We paid the tickets and stuff with it all. And that was great. The community is great. They helped us out in that kind of way.
And that's what this shit's for. But
yeah,
the bike's fixed. So what you're saying is that most people thought that you got money from everybody trying to help you out, and you fixed the bike.
No, I don't
want
to say most people. One person was saying it.
Oh,
of course, they get a handful of likes. So I'm like, okay, how many people is that? I put this up, and they're all thinking the same thing, but they're not going to say anything. So I want to make sure that was clear. And if you were somebody like Jason, that's how you're feeling, and you sent Nick $50 and said, hey, send this to Mike. I want them to know, hey, if that's how you feel about it, I'll send you that $50 back right now.
Yeah.
It's that's not how I want people to think. I wasn't even trying to get any money from the get-go. Nick didn't tell me who sent him money or nothing, because he knew he asked us from the jump, and we were both like, no, man, we'll get it taken care of,
Yeah.
We don't need the money. We're not struggling that bad, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a big hit, but we're not struggling that bad.
Yeah.
So I didn't want people thinking hey, fuck Mike, he took my money and now he's trying to raffle this bike. So I was like, if anyone feels that way, just tell me and you can have your money back.
Yeah.
But, of course, nobody said anything, because,
like
I said, it was all
sucks, man. Why get so involved in someone else's life like that to where you got to make a snarky comment or whatever? It just doesn't. It blows my mind that someone has so little going on in their life.
Yeah, that's what it is. You just feel bad for them. That they got so little going on. That's all you can do. It's whatever they call it these days. I don't know, projecting and shit like that. I don't know if I'm using that right, but I hear that word a lot and it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw projecting out there.
Yeah.
But they're just shit's not going well for them. Shit's not going well for a lot of people. They got a vent somewhere. Fuck it, they vent there.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I don't take the social media shit very serious.
Well, I think I guess maybe that's a good point. You said they can vent. They vent on social media. Fortunately, I think that like myself and I know you, I got a lot of buddies that ride bikes I'm friends with that are kind of in the same world of motorcycles. So I get to vent privately and keep all my opinions
Dude, I just vent at work, man, and none of them motherfuckers know any of y'all. I'm like, Jason's the biggest fucking asshole, man. And that shit never gets back to him.
You go in the fucking break room up there, and it's just playing my podcast on. He's like, this dude right here, fuck him. You know what I mean?
Basically.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Trying to get those new. I'm trying to get unbike related listeners. Trying to branch out. But man, other than that though, like how's 2020? It started rough for you? Did it get better at the end, or?
I mean, it's another year, man. You just take them as they come, you know?
I mean, dude, I always felt like from the outside looking in, I felt like you just kept getting one after the other. I had a lot of hits.
I mean, a lot of personal stuff that I'm not going into.
Yeah.
It was a rough personal year. Financially, I mean, I made like almost a little bit more than half as much as I usually make, like just at work.
Is the railroad stuff down right now? Or
Railroad's way down right now. Like, I mean, they let us leave today if we wanted. Like, I was able to stay. I went and worked in another area at my shop. But, like, they were letting us go today. That's 8, 16, 24 hours. 24 hours. They used to do that in 2 days, you know, like a year ago. Now, that was it for the week. And it's been slow. But, I mean, our business is run. Like, our biggest driver is oil and gas. And, like, Dusty, you know, he's been a pipeliner for 15 years. He always said, like, I mean, if you're not prepared for the slow times and you're you know, you work in oil and gas, then you can't really have pity on those people. I mean, that's just fucking stupid. That shit's always up and down. It's a roller coaster, you know? And so you got to plan for that. So, I mean, I'm not struggling. Like, we got savings for these times, but it just means, you know, we're doing less. I mean, like, I can't. You know, either you got money or time. You know how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Right now I got time. So, I mean, I'm just working on shit. Been doing a lot of stuff around the house, you know.
Yeah, I want to see what all you doing to the garage. You said you just getting it cleaned up in there?
Yeah, no, I mean, I had to have an electrician come out and rewire a lot of my house. I still got to do the garage, but putting new walls up in the garage and stuff, and just reorganizing, taking a bunch of stuff out, cleaning, trying to turn more into, trying to make it so it's easier to work as a fab shop and a mechanic shop and a 2-car garage with a laundry room inside of it. It's cramped. Yeah. And when I had like 3 or 4 bikes in there, there's just not a lot of room to do all that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to make all that better because it's all stuff I can do spending minimal money and it's stuff that needs to get done. Like, there's just a lot of stuff around the house that needs to get done. So I know I've just been focusing more on that stuff. But, yeah, I mean, 2020 was wild, but fuck, man, every year seems wild for me. I mean, it was a little bit harder than usual, but I mean, a couple years before that, we had termites in the house. I've had, you know, I've totaled like 5 vehicles.
Tore your bicep that year whenever you're trying to fucking.
I got diabetes the one year. I mean, like, I haven't not maxed out my health insurance in 4 years.
Yeah.
Or maybe I think it's been 4 years in a row I have. So, I mean, every year is a fucking adventure. It's
for all time.
You know, it just is what it is.
That shit was so crazy because I guess Nick came to Dallas to go to Giddy Up.
Yeah.
And then you guys go to a rodeo. And then we talked about in the podcast, one of the many ones we've done together. But it was just crazy. It's like we're all going to Giddy Up. I think because we all went Thursday. And I think y'all, that's when
we went there instead. Because that was Thursday night.
Because y'all went to the rodeo instead, and then you fucking rode a bull or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, well, I told Nick,
horse.
I mean, he
do you ride a bull or a horse?
Like, it was a bull.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, well, you're going to come to Texas, man. I'm not going to be like Jason. I have friends come to Texas and take them to fucking Anvil Pub. You know, it's like, look at Texas. I ain't even going to take you to the stockyards. I'm going to take you to fucking Dallas. Like, that's even very Texas.
That is Texas,
might as well be fucking Chicago or some shit. But... You know, so I'd like to take my friends to actually Texas. I'll take them to a rodeo and get on a fucking bull for them. I'm a real fucking friend.
I've never been to a fucking rodeo.
I'm not even a Texan. You're from here.
You're a tourist then. Tourists go to fucking rodeos.
That's why you like rodeos.
I mean, I've never even been to a rodeo. I've just rode 2 bulls. But 2 of my close friends were pro bull riders. Dusty was a pro bull rider.
Okay.
And then my friend who took us that time, I've worked with him for like, I don't know, 11 years now. And he rode pro too. So that's...
Yeah,
but like, work with him.
All right, you take.
Sorry,
Nick.
some of us are blue collar, Jace. We're not artists.
You take
your art degree and shit.
Oh yeah, I got a degree. You take your friends to a rodeo, and then they're gonna go back home and be like, "Hey man, do you want to go back to Texas?" No, no, I'm good. But if you go
I'll tell you what, man. Him being from California, he's all hella California and shit.
Yeah.
So.
They listen to a lot of country music.
No, but he enjoyed the fuck out of it, man. Like, that's a whole nother experience to Texas. Like,
is.
I don't know. You say you've never been to a rodeo, so you don't fucking know what you're talking about.
I don't. But I seen it on Yellowstone.
It wasn't even a rodeo. It was just cowboy church.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah. They ride bulls at cowboy church?
Yeah, there's one in Waxahachie.
Oh, that's the one we go to.
That's the one you go to.
Yeah.
Oh, so you over here and you don't even fucking hang out with me, dude?
You were
I live across the street.
Like, oh, were you going to get on a bull?
No, but I'll watch. They wouldn't let me in no church.
No, they let me in. But yeah, so he got to experience. I felt the full Texas thing where you got females dipping and shit like that. The full Texas experience, man.
Girls
smelling some cow shit and stuff. Walk out of here like being like, yeah, I know what Texas is all about.
But that's never felt like Texas to me.
See, that's how Texas is portrayed, like on movies and stuff. So that's what people are gonna expect when they come over here. So I think showing them like actually the nice roads that you can rip through, and like even downtown Dallas it's
an experience, man. Like I know that you joke about it, but every time someone's out here from out of town and I take them, night riding around Dallas with the lights and the bridges, it's fucking beautiful, man. Yeah. It really is nice.
I can't see well at night, but
we got one of the top skylines in the country.
Yeah.
I know. I like my skyline. Jacksonville, it's got a good skyline.
Does it have I've never even seen it.
We got them 7 bridges. We got the old Midas building. I don't even know what it's called now. But yeah, no, it's a nice skyline. You have to look it up. Young Jamie, pull up the Jacksonville skyline.
His name's Young Sachs.
Oh, Young Sachs. But no, what is funny talking about people coming here and seeing things like when he got here, we're going down through Fort Worth, actually going down to the Cowboy Church. We had to drive through Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh shit, you guys got homeless people too? I was like, man, all Californians think like all the homeless are in California. Like, I know y'all got a lot, but man, I've been a lot of places in this country, and every city's got homeless people. So I'm gonna put that on wax right now, like, so everybody knows. Like,
Denver's pretty bad.
There's homeless everywhere. Yeah. That's not just y'all.
Dude, it's been pretty wild in Austin. I was down there a couple months back, and we were on the south side of Austin, like towards I guess like Little Darling, those little chopper bars and shit. Every fucking bridge has like huge encampments underneath it. It's like, I guess they did something in Austin where they made it where they could camp out and not get kicked out or whatever, and it just like turned into a fucking like crazy shit show down there. You know what I just realized? That like like Scooter Tramp Scotty, that whole tramp thing is part of the whole, like, it's like a name that people used for like basically living off, what would you know what it is though?
Yeah.
Like how do you say that? Like, because like Scooter Tramp Scotty, but then like there's all these other so and so tramp, like, because I rewatched what was that movie with the Alexander Supertramp, fucking Into the Wild.
I never saw that.
Come on, man, that's a fucking classic. Well, that's where I realized that from, is that they use tramp as the name of who they are to let people know they're wanderers, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
No, my sister was homeless for a long time, so I'm familiar with the culture. Pretty familiar. But, shit happens.
Yeah.
I said.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty excited about this year, though. Like, I think it'll be fun. Like, the FXR that I got, I'm pretty excited about that, working, getting back on something like that. Having something like here, like having another bike like that for someone else to ride if they come to Dallas. Like say if Nick came to town, even though I know last time, didn't you have a bike for him to ride?
Yeah, he rode my RP last time.
Yeah. So it's like having something for someone like that to come to town is always a dope thing, to where I can go show him the skyline. You take him to the rodeos. I'll let him go. I'm going to show him Anvil.
Maybe he'll take you to the rodeo this time. I'm trying to get you on a fucking bull.
I ain't doing that shit.
Who's putting down money to get Jace on a bull? Because he'll do anything for money.
No, I ain't. Dude, I fucking, everything I do is with my hands. I can't.
Dude, you know how rare it is? Okay, 2 friends who rode pro. Neither one of them have ever seen this shit happen before.
They're
usually when
pro.
You get hurt. But they rode their entire life. Usually when you get hurt, it's because you got like kicked in the head or some shit like that, and you're like,
I don't need that either.
Or like, stepped on. But, this shit was uncommon.
I'd rather just go arm wrestle some dudes at a bar or some shit, just fucking do some real manly shit.
Oh, sorry, I'm not manly enough riding a bull for you, Jace. Go arm wrestle some dudes.
I'm just going to show up to the fucking spot with long sleeves, but the right arm's cut off so they can see what I'm working with. Yeah. Dude, I'm going to get one of those fucking poles in here so I can arm wrestle dudes while we're doing podcasts.
Fucking arm wrestle right now, dude.
No, but I think...
he said no.
Nah, I haven't. I got to go do push-ups first. I got to get pumped.
Got to get that sick-ass pump, dude.
But no, man, I'm excited, man. I think it's going to be a good year.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Did they confirm Fandango's happened for sure?
It's on the books right now. I mean, who knows what happened then? But I mean, I was just talking with Jade about this. I mean, I feel like Texas is pretty normal. Like,
yeah, it is.
I mean, unless
Florida,
I don't go out a whole normal. Bunch, so I couldn't say for sure. But everywhere I like to go, like my favorite Mexican joint, they're open, but they're charging for chips and salsa, which is totally unfucking Mexican. So kind of, me and the wife are doing a mild boycott of that shit right now. But you know, most places, like that's most the only place I go, but they're open. So I feel like that makes.
I mean, all the restaurants. I mean, most of the places are open. Like I've never really hung out in the areas of Dallas that are kind of more super trendy or the, you know, whatever you would like label that. Like we go to Deep Ellum, like everything's open down there. Yeah, you know what I mean. Except for Anvil, actually. Anvil's not open. No, they're shut down during the week now because it's so slow. So the
week I went, man, the police get called.
Yeah, that was part of the whole shit show that ended up happening. But now, so we ended up changing our bike night to Reno's, and we're just gonna keep it there from now on because
where's that at?
It's right around the corner from Anvil, but it's off the main road, so you kind of get all the Deep Ellumness, but it's so much more places to park because it's not like on a road. You know what I mean? And the bar's already been like super accommodating to us, getting us, you know, the beers that we like to drink and shit like that. And, you know, it's consistency, man. And what sucks is like, there's a part of going to Deep Ellum that creates like, even if it's like 3 of us show up to bike night, there's shit going on in Deep Ellum. So it's like, oh, well, at least we get a show tonight still. Yeah. You know, but if we were going to like some random restaurant in, you know, fucking Arlington for a bike night, it doesn't have the same allure. It doesn't have the same like energy, you know, that Deep Ellum, you know, or the Stockyards or, you know, shit like that would have if you're around an area where things are popping. Like where the DFW Downer crew goes, they go to the Dirty Crow, I think, out there at like West 7th Street. When you're down there, there's just shit going on everywhere. So it's like, fuck, man, like you feel like you're in the mix of stuff. So the energy's kind of there, you know what I mean? But
it's those weekdays, man. I don't like going out on weekdays,
dude. It's hard to get. It's just, to me, it's easier. It breaks the week up like big time.
Yeah, but what time you wake up in the morning?
Like 9.
Yeah, see, I'm up at 5.
No, I usually get up.
I always like when I'm listening to Rogan or something, and they're talking about like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's like The Rock always shows where like, you know, the Jocko, yeah, it's like he always shows like, you know, he's up at 5 or up at 6, you know, doing push-ups and stuff. You could always get up and do that shit. I'm like, I'm on my way to work already. What the fuck you mean get up at 6? I'm like, I've already done 30 minutes. Yeah.
It's that's the part. That's what sucks about a lot, because there's a lot of friends that I've had over the years that couldn't quite keep up with all the things that we did because of their work schedule, like having to go to work. And, you know, I had homeboys that would have to be at the fucking workplace at 3, like those type of union style jobs. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they can't go stay at a bike night till fucking 2 in the morning like we would sometimes. But, you know, fucking pick a better career, dude.
Well, you know, we didn't. Hey, you get all the people to quit talking about how amazing it is to work in the fucking trades. I don't know if we want to get on that fucking tangent.
Have I been saying that to people?
No. I'm not. All the people in our fucking scene, all the buyers were like, yeah, you don't need to go to college. Get in the fucking trades. You know, you make this much money right out of, you know, you go to trade school and you make this much money instead of going to college and making this much. And I'm like, yeah, everyone I know went to college. I made more of them in my 20s, and now they make way more than me. And they're not beating themselves up every day. They get way better benefits. You know, they get way more time off of work. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I got most welders I know who are in their 60s make the exact same fucking money I do, because you don't make any more money the longer you've been in this shit. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know why everyone preaches this shit. Like, yeah, you'll make 60 grand right out of high school, and then you'll make 60 grand 40 years from now too.
You'll be working a lot of hours too.
Yeah, but like, yeah, you make 100 grand. Weeks, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, every welder I know makes 100 grand, works 7 fucking 12s. Yep. I'm like, you're leaving that part out, that the guy who went to college is only making 70 but working 40 hours a week.
But to counter that though, the thing is that a trade gives you is a job security in a sense, like not for everybody, but for me, if I go learn how to be an electrician, I'm always an electrician now. Even if I got to go hustle a little money on the side, I can do that you know what I mean? But when you work in a corporate or space like that, those jobs change a lot. Like you're constantly, you know, a resume is a thing that you keep in your fucking back pocket basically, because you go in there one day and you say hi to Jan one day the wrong way, and now you're fucking you sexually assaulted her, and so
I've been a welder my whole life, and I've been sent home for calling someone a dumbass. That shit's everywhere. That shit's not just in offices.
That was mean though.
I know, it's pretty fucking brutal.
But no, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, those corporate worlds, like, that's where, you know, like, there's so many people that do that. I mean, just all careers in general are just it's overdone. Like, it's hard to, like, I don't even know, is there even space to be a doctor anymore? Like,
I'm sure there is.
I feel like now the hospitals are full, so they're building fucking little kiosks everywhere to do, like, you know, every fucking place is a doctor's office. And I was like, didn't y'all fucking have a hospital to do this shit in or something? Like, that could have been a fucking Wendy's right there or some shit, doctor. You know? I don't know.
You got a general practitioner?
I have no idea. I've never been to the fucking doctor.
I didn't used to go to the doctor either, and then I almost fucking died, and now I go to the doctor.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm at doctor's offices every fucking day, it seems like.
How is all the diabetes stuff going? Is it manageable pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't find it too bad. Some days it gets annoying, but, you know, I find more annoying just having to carry around everything.
All that stuff. Yeah.
That shit bugs me sometimes more than the actual having to take the shots. Like, the shots ain't so bad. It's the carrying around all the fucking insulin and Hester and everything. That shit just gets old. But, you know, I try to never complain about that shit just because, like, when I first got it, I got all fucking depressed for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And then I heard it explained to me perfect ways. It's like, dude, 100 years ago, if I got diabetes and I was living 100 years ago, I'd just be fucking dead.
Yeah.
It's like pretty good fucking alternative. You know, it's like, fortunately, I still get to live my life. So, sure, sucks carrying around all that shit, but it's a lot better than dying.
Yeah, you know? That's true.
The way I look at it.
So have you been, you said do you listen to a lot of podcasts still, or have you been still on the book game?
Dude, I do more books than podcasts pretty much since, we'll go with March of 2020. I had almost put down podcasts completely because it doesn't matter. It could be a motorcycle podcast. It could be a truck podcast, a gun podcast, a whatever podcast, a fighter podcast. You know what they're talking about? Let me tell you everything I know about COVID.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist or anything, but I'll tell you this is bullshit or this is real. I'm like, dude, we're a year into this shit. Everyone who you know knows how you feel about COVID. Yeah. You can shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
And that's whether you're scared of it, you think it's bullshit. I don't give a fuck. I know how you feel. You can stop fucking talking about it.
Yeah, yeah. That's, I know for a while it became like such a, even for us, it was like, well, how's COVID in your neck of the woods?
I mean, yeah, it's a dude. Like, usually I'll get on, I'll start a podcast, and they start talking about COVID. If it lasts more than 5 minutes, off. Yeah, like, yeah. I'm done. Like, I don't know if other people feel differently, but I can't have these conversations anymore where either nobody thinks you're fucking some super amazing human being because you really care about COVID and you think everyone else needs to wear a mask, and nobody thinks you're some total badass because you don't think you have to wear a mask. Yeah. So quit acting like it. Like, you're not tough as fuck because you don't wear a mask, and you're not saving the planet by telling other people to wear a mask. Just do what the fuck you do, and let's just all move on with that shit.
Yeah, it's been. I mean,
even no matter what you give a fuck, nobody else cares what you fucking think. Which is why I'm not even gonna say where I stand on the motherfucker, because it doesn't fucking matter.
It's easy to get wrapped up in that conversation, though. Are we at 5 minutes yet since we started talking about COVID? I don't want him to cut this podcast out.
Yeah, I'll cut it. I'm not gonna listen to this podcast. So.
It's the first time you've been buzzed on one in a while, though.
Yeah,
drinking that fucking Kool-Aid over there.
Yeah,
but no, it was tough, man. When it started happening, it was tough because none of us knew what it was going to be.
Oh yeah, I get it at first,
and it was really hard to navigate a conversation because, you know, with us being primarily all motorcycle shit shut down for like 3 months. So it's like we're doing these fucking Skype podcasts, which I hate. I hate doing phones and Skype, period. But we're doing those podcasts. We're trying to create content or at least get some insight of what's going on around the country. And it was really tough to not be depressed. And then when the fucking riots happened, you know, the George Floyd thing, that got depressing. It got hard not to share an opinion about it, especially because we had started traveling a little bit more and we were kind of seeing different parts of the country. And then things kind of normalized pretty much at Sturgis. Like, Sturgis felt like Sturgis felt like every Sturgis has ever been. Like nobody gave a fuck up there. The only masks you saw were on girls' tits and dudes' dicks. That was it. They were partying up there, right? And then, shit got wild again right before. More than anything, I just got tired of the election shit, man. Just all that stuff. I didn't want to hear about it more. Over. Yeah, and even now it's like my fucking YouTube algorithm's fucked up right now, and I can't get out of I keep getting wrapped into Fox News and shit. So it's like I'm not trying to watch it, but because I get a headline, I'm like, oh, what did happen at the Capitol? And then I pick this one over CNN, and then fucking everything is that I got everything coming.
I'm restoring a 1944 lathe right now.
Yeah.
So I watch like some videos on just lathe restorations. So that's my whole algorithm on YouTube now.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining. Mm-hmm. It's just like all dudes like restoring old machines, and I'm like, I'm about it, man. Like, it's cool. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that one.
That's kind of, dude.
I'll watch that one.
I found another. Sax will tell you. I listen to a lot of chick music, right? Yeah. And I listen to a lot of photography.
I believe it.
Yeah. I like them.
Yeah, I'll peek around the corner, look upstairs, and he's up there just
fucking jamming. But no, I've been just different types of photographers and shit that aren't taking pictures of bikes or chicks, but they're doing. I really felt like rabbit hole the last couple of days, and this dude that does like a lot of cultural things around the world, South America, things like that, talking about like agricultural. It's super weird, but like the photography that he gets of these fucking people, like. I watched this dude's video and then I went and bought a smoke machine. I was like, I want to create these kind of photos that this dude does. And, they kind of fake the funk on some of it, but it's just interesting and shit, But, when your whole podcast is based around motorcycles and you want to keep it entertaining, it's like, it's really tough, man. It's tough to find ways to keep it going and stick with the thing and keep the. I felt like we did. We had a 3-month run. April, May, and June was tough to pull podcasts, and then things kind of normalized out. And I felt like we hit the ground running because we had a fucking super strong 2020 at the beginning. We had the highest numbers we've ever hit, and then COVID happened, and then like people just stopped listening to podcasts because they were at home. They weren't going to work.
They probably weren't doing their normal routine. Whether they listen on their commute while they're working. Mm-hmm.
And so since then, we've been slowly creeping back up to where we were right before COVID as far as listenership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was wild, man. It was different, but fuck. I mean, even now, like I struggle because, we have the studio, we have, Saxon here, and I have these other interests too, like photography and these other areas where it's like, man, I don't want to. You always said it best. It's like as long as I put enough bike content out, then no one's gonna hate me because I put out.
I mean, people will, but
they will. But I almost feel like I've been considering going another route and having a complete separate podcast for a different area. But then I look at the time that I have to do these podcasts. Yeah. Sax will tell you he's been here at the shop for the last couple of weeks, and today, dude walks in the shop. Crazy easy job. I hope you don't listen to podcasts. Good, easy job that I took in automatically because I can knock it out. Then my boy Jason Hallman calls me up right afterwards. Hey, man, will you fly out here to Florida and do a photo shoot for, that 1680 workwear or something like that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sounds dope. I said, man, I can't. So much work to do before Daytona and then going out of town. So it's like these opportunities are starting to kind of click, and it's like, fuck, man. But I want to do more podcasts, but then time, it just gets fucking, it's tough. I can't even take that FXR apart. Like I don't even, if I take it apart now, I'll end up fucking probably selling it like the last one.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like leaving it together until like I know that I have the time to do it.
That's what I'm
I just want to ride it
right now is trying to stop multitasking as much and just focusing on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Like I got Dusty's frame going on right now. I'm restoring that lathe, and I'm renovating my garage. Mm-hmm. So, got the lathe done. Told Dusty, apologize. Been working on. I've had this bike for way too long, but it's back on hold again because I'm got to get my garage done first. Then do his frame, and then I start on the other one because I still got to start on the other FXR. But I started getting little things here and there going, but that one's gonna be completely. That one's gonna be a lot of shit. So
what are you doing to Dusty's bike?
It's just a soft tail chopper he got. So I just stretched it up and hardtailing it.
Okay, that'd be dope.
Just making the frame. Corey's gonna make the tank, and he'll do the rest. So
shit, man.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah,
I'm good.
What do you mean? Good. Oh, you about to piss yourself?
Not ready. We're done.
Well, we got to talk about one more thing.
What we got to talk about?
FXR prices real quick.
Okay, let's talk about it. You can go piss. Yeah.
Right.
Just put it on him.
It is.
Yeah. Right. No, I just wanted to talk about that because that's nonstop bitching about prices. And one thing I wanted to say about it might be two things. But first off is that people keep going on, like, say, the FXR pages on Facebook or Instagram and stuff and saying, oh, you know, they're talking about, oh, I just want a reasonably priced tank or this or that and everything. Or like everything's too expensive. Like it's not worth this or that. But I feel like you can find, like I bought in a couple tanks recently, good prices under what you consider market. But you know where you don't find cheap stuff is on FXR Bazaar or on FXR Alpha page on Facebook and stuff. It's like, that's where people go to make money off this stuff. Like if you want to find it, you got to go hunting for it. Like you don't just make a post on FXR Bazaar in search of an FXR tank and then be like, oh, nobody wants to sell me one for $100. You know, it's like you could get them for $100 20 years ago. This is stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not where you go. Like either they want the cheap prices without doing any of the fucking work.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't understand, like where that mentality comes from.
We had that conversation Sunday when we talked, and that's a good point. I'm glad you did bring that up because those places, those kind of final channels that get put out there, it's kind of like you need it at that point, right?
Yeah. And whether it's Elvis,
yeah,
FXR Bazaar, I mean, you pretty much call eBay Elvis, or like the Facebook page. If that's where you're looking, like if you want deals, you got to go find them. You go talk to your local shops. You go meet people at your local, wherever the bike nights are and stuff, swap meets, what you go find them.
Yeah.
Like that's where people find deals. People don't buy a tank for $100 that they've searched around at swap meets. They found it for $100. They're, I'll list it on Bazaar for $150 and be happy with $50 profit after I box it up. No, they're going to go in there to list it for a premium because that's where people are looking for that specific stuff. Like that's just not how the world works. Like what, I'm in a lot of truck pages too. Like I'm big into old Fords and everything. And like the same thing. You don't go in there looking for the deal. Like you need a grill. You're not like that's just not how it ever works.
Yeah. So basically, if people want to find good deals, they need to do the legwork. Go search.
Or you just pay more. If the legwork's not worth it, you pay an extra $200. That's the guy's money for doing the legwork for you. Yeah. You got plenty of guys out there who are happy to do the legwork and make $200 profit on it. Or you do. You do. I mean, those are your choices. You can't just ask for a fucking deal and expect to get it.
And if someone doesn't give it to you, then that's not FXR like.
Yeah, fuck that. I mean, I've given tons. With this year already, I think I've given away like 3 or 4 parts. But I give away parts to friends or other people in the community, like that I know on a personal basis. It's like if I'm listing something, I want money for it. Like, I'm not going to list a gas tank for $100. I might sell it to a friend for like $100, $200. But if I list it for $100, somebody's gonna buy it, and I'll see it for sale on eBay the next day for $500. So what the fuck am I doing? I'm not doing. That's just retarded. Like I don't get why people think that's supposed to be the thing. And if you don't understand why prices are high, they're a popular fucking bike. They don't make these parts anymore. That's the way the world works. Yeah. That's everything. Cars, bikes, whatever else people are into, probably fishing poles. I don't fucking know. Anything that they're not making anymore that is popular is going to be fucking expensive. And expensive is even fucking relative because even a really expensive FXR for 20 grand ain't really that fucking expensive. For me, it is. Yeah. But compared to a lot of other toys, that's like a side-by-side.
Yeah.
Which,
agree.
How cool is that? Not very cool. And people are paying more than that for a fucking side-by-side. Yeah. And that's like the top of the line FXR. Not that expensive. That's the price of a base model new fucking Harley.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. You know new Harley's better than me. But isn't that like what a Softail goes for?
Yeah.
Like not like...
More like a lowrider S.
Lowrider S, yeah. And you get 0 cool points of that. You get a lot more cool points with a $20,000 FXR.
Yeah. Certain circles. But
most circles, because
when you pull up on a new lowrider S, I was like, hell yeah,
everyone's like, dude, that bank has a nice fucking bike.
It's like that sometimes, though. Fuck, man. My bank, Eagle Mark, has a really nice road glide. I get to ride. They let me ride it all the time. I just got to pay him a little bit of money every month, and it's really dope. It's a good system.
The other price thing I really want to talk about here, though, that we'll just say is my opinion, but like you talk about how can't get mad at like the guys with money coming into the FXR thing, you know, keeps guys like you in business or, you know, anyone making parts and stuff. But same thing, I don't get why so many guys are bitching about the cost of like a done up bike. Like, we'll say, I'm trying to think of a good bike to use, for example, that was maybe recently. So like, fuck, we'll just throw, nothing's coming to fucking mind.
They all get raffled these days.
Yeah. But yeah, because you can't because everyone's just going to bitch about a price. But so you build a bike, like we'll go back to your Gold FXR. Say you wanted to sell that for 25 grand, right? Mm-hmm. You had 20 in it, we'll call it.
Okay.
And why does it this thing like where you have to take a fucking loss? It's a hot bike. Everybody wants it. Why do the people add it up to be, all right, he's got 20 grand into it, plus all his labor. He did the paint work. He shouldn't be making 25. Like, you never make money on a bike. That's what people always say. Like, but why? It's like either so some rich dude wants to come in because you can't get financed. Like Aaron was saying, you can't get financed 25 grand for bikes. So some rich dude wants to buy into it. What's wrong with giving the money to a guy who put in all the work to build this bike? Yeah. Probably a guy who's been in this shit. He's collected these parts. Why should he not get rewarded for collecting all these parts over the years, putting in the time and energy to build a bike? And now some dude just wants to buy into this shit. No problem with that. I don't personally. But why should he be able to get it for a fucking huge? Why should that bike be worth 10 grand? Why does he have
to take a loss? Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Oh, but what's weird is the other guys who've been in it are the ones bitching about it. Like, if, say it's me and Dusty. We both been in this shit for like 6-7 years now, FXRs. I'm selling a bike. Why would Dusty bitch about me making money on a bike when, like, he also builds bikes too? Shouldn't we all want, like, he's not buying a built bike. He's going to do that shit himself. Yeah. So why do you care? Like, why would I care that Joe is making money off a bike? Exactly, like, if Joe builds a bike and sells it for 20 grand, I'm going to be building a bike and selling a bike in some time. I don't build them to sell, but that always ends up happening. Yeah. I should want him to get as much money as possible so I can. And if you don't want to put in the work to build it, then you're going to pay a premium. Yeah. In my mind, that's the way it should be.
I think that the reason why that perhaps it doesn't, a lot of people's mind has changed is because we've been indoctrinated with like 12 or 13 years of American Pickers and Gas Monkey Garage and all this.
Once again, that's hunting a deal.
Well, that's
you're not clicking on FXR Bazaar. Yeah. Show me all the deals. Yeah. I want the cheapest fucking prices. These prices aren't cheap enough. Yeah. It's like, okay, then go find it. Go find that dude who doesn't know what the fucking internet is, but built this badass FXR and wants to sell it for dirt cheap. Yeah. You know, or pay a fucking premium. Or go buy that $3,500, $4,500 FXR and build it yourself. You'll save money.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you know how to do any of it.
Yeah, if you can. And if not, then you're paying a fucking premium.
Exactly.
Like, why should you get this fucking awesome hookup? Where's this entitlement come from?
I think, like I said, I think it goes to, it's part of that whole culture of people watching these shows. Part of
that whole culture of fucking hating. Well, nobody wants to see anyone else fucking eat.
It is that. But at the same time, like, for the first time in our lives, like me and you, we're from the same time frame. If we wanted to find a deal back in the day, you either had to know somebody or you picked up an auto trader. Yeah. There was no Craigslist. Then Craigslist came along.
There was no internet to just type in a page like, oh, yeah, here's all the box Chevys. Let me go find one.
Yeah, so it was a little bit different back in the day. And then you had to cold call people and shit trying to fucking, hey, man, can I come check out that?
You meet me at that 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Looking through the yellow pages.
Yeah. We're going to, I'll get to that in a minute. So basically you got the last 20 years of like eBay coming along and Craigslist coming on and then Facebook now creating marketplace. So you have all these places where traditionally some people did get deals, offer up. There were deals. People were making deals here and there. But remember eBay? You remember how it was marketed to us as young adults? Like somebody just got something we knew was expensive for $20. Yeah. Remember? Yeah. It's like there's no fucking way someone's just going to give that away for $20. You know what I mean? But that's what happened. So then that shit changed our culture to where we start looking for things online. Then the haggles, I'm talking to that person direct. It's not like I open up Auto Trader and I can comment to that dude right now and be like, oh, no. You remember fucking Joe Dirt? You remember the movie? When he opens the Auto Trader and he's like, $25 for a footprint gas pedal. They must be out of their mind or some shit. You know, like that's the same thing that's always happened. It's just now they're doing it. They're commenting on the shit, you know?
But like I said, it's so weird because so many times it's other guys in it where it's like, there's no way I'll look at somebody bitching. I'm like, that guy, he hunts deals. I'm like, he doesn't buy Bill bikes. So what the fuck does he care that so-and-so is like, why do I care that Mark is selling his bike for 20 grand when I know it's about a $15,000 bike, but he wants 20 grand for it? I'm like, okay, good for him.
Yeah.
That's a friend of mine. He's fucking die hard in this FXR shit. I hope he gets it. I know he don't want to get rid of his FXR, but if he does get rid of it, I hope he gets all the money. I don't want him to see him take a fucking loss. But you see that shit all the time where it's like dudes who are supposedly friends with each other sitting there hating like, man, fuck that, man. Why that bike's only worth 13 and he's trying to ask 15 for it. It's like, okay, like be glad for him.
Yeah.
It's like the other guy who's got 15 grand cash to lay around buying a bike that he don't know nothing about, then fuck him, you know? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's the way I see it. But
I agree. I think I'm only tapping into the collective, not individual, but the collective. And yes, I think people in general, like everybody has a little hater in them, man. They just don't want to see certain people get ahead, you know. Yeah. And you know, it's just sad, man. But it's part. I don't know. Like, how do you get away from it? I mean, like I said, our scene right now with performance baggers is still pretty small, but eventually it'll get big enough, and it'll start to taint.
I told. It's funny, man. When Dusty, he went to the East Coast Jam for the first time, not this past year, but the last real year, if you don't really count 2020. You know,
I went this year.
He was like, man, I almost don't want to go, man. Everyone's just always bitching and fighting online and stuff. And I was like, dude, but it's not like that in person, man. You get out there and everyone gets along and stuff. He goes, dude, that's almost worse. I'm like, you know, you got a fucking point there. I'm like, yeah, nobody does that shit in person. I'm like, like, I guess. That, you know, when you stop and think, I'm like, that is kind of worse. These guys will talk nonstop shit about each other online, get them in person and stuff, and they're like, oh, what's up, dude? It's been so long, man. I haven't seen you in forever.
What are those videos of like the two dogs going after it until they open the door, and then they
exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
That's what it is, man.
I don't disagree, man. Every time I'm, like I said, I'm on Facebook, I'll see someone that I know comment on something because it shows up on my timeline, and I go up and read what they're talking about, and then I'm like, oh, I got an opinion about this. I was like, nope. Mm-hmm. Let me retract my thoughts and just stay out of it.
That's why I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to be on there, but I really don't want to be on there.
Like Corey's, I'm on there for Marketplace.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get sucked in. I barely get on the non-Marketplace. Sometimes I try to only even get in. If somebody asks a question, I'll give an answer. Yeah. Like, hey, you know, will these wheels work on my 84 FXR? I try to just, yes, no, you need these ones. Yeah. It's like, just keep it simple and just get the fuck out. Because you start fucking scrolling and seeing some other shit and you start getting wrapped up in that stupid bullshit.
So whenever the post about Aaron winning the bike, some dude commented, because, you know, on which, like I said, we both talked about it with Aaron just reposting what you wrote. It was kind of a hard thing for people, thought it was a scam, right? Mm-hmm. Well, on that post that someone put on one of the deals, you know, because in the description it said that the paint had patina on it. And so I had to comment because this one dude goes, patina? Isn't that just faded paint on this bike? And I'm like, that is what patina is. That it's and I commented, I was like,
I didn't even see your comment.
I was like, yo, that's what patina is worn paint. And he goes,
hit on everything.
And then he goes, tell that to the guys that are doing that on their new cars. I'm like, what the fuck are you even saying? Like, and I even said,
you don't have to make sense.
It's like, I was like, I remember one time I got into an argument with a dude, and he shut me down with this. He said something to me, I clapped back, and he goes, what you just said was water was wet. And then he left it at that. And I'm like, you came back at nothing I said, but you destroyed this conversation because there's nothing I can say after that.
Yeah.
I was like,
dude, Facebook is the fucking worst. I mean, not the Instagram's a whole lot better. It used to be really good when it was just kind of
Instagram is easier to not see any comments. because they don't pop
It's
up.
so easy to hide people on there too, dude.
Yeah.
I just do that shit all the time now. Corey got me started on that shit, man. You could just, it's so easy, just poof, hide.
There's just on Facebook, there's nothing much to do though. So it's like you either someone's sharing something.
It's just there's never any good. That's the problem.
Every once in a while, I'll go down a rabbit hole of videos though, because I like watching those like dudes in like the fucking Amazon that'll build like clay little swimming pools and shit. And I just go, and then another one, or when people do those fucking resin pours and shit, I get into that. Or
yeah, they do have some cool things.
Those
like
kind of videos I get, or someone doing something on a lathe. I'm like, I'll watch this.
Yeah, that's true. But like as far as like motorcycle related,
nah, there's
no. Even Marketplace, they don't fucked it up. How did they had like the most perfect
setup,
thing going on, and I don't know why would they purposely fuck it up. I don't know what they gained out of that. Like if anyone has a way to where you can stop, like turn off the shipping search to where it's only local. If there's some way to do that, I don't know about it,
but it resets every time you come back in.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Like I can change it to just local. But if anyone knows a way to permanently do that, let me know.
I don't like that, and I don't want it goes back to the thing of what you were saying about the ones that are in the chat. So like say if you put a post up, it'll go, do you also want to put this in these groups? And it's like I want to find the deal from the people that don't know about the groups, because that's where you're going to get a better deal on the parts.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, if it's something I need, like I'm trying to put this bike together and I need a sport fender, I'm going to have to pay the premium to get it, because I'm not.
I've paid premium on stuff. If you need it, you need it. But yeah,
that's the thing. So
you don't go to where everyone loves it and ask and try and find a deal. That's not where you find deals.
Yeah.
That's where you find high prices, as it should be.
Exactly.
Well, basically, everyone just stop the fucking hating, man. Just be glad if a friend's making money.
Go ride and wave like this.
Wave, yeah. You guys can't see. That's
bring it in. Bring it in.
He's doing a bring it in. I do the overhead.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
come on.
Like they say, built well, whatever. Ride motorcycles, have fun. That's it, man.
That's what it's about.
Fuck the bullshit.
Go to the wing ding.
Hey, if you're on a touring bike, man, we will welcome you. We love everyone. And
you already a spokesman,
bro. I'm a spokesman. I got my jacket. I got
everybody's loving your jacket.
Are they loving? Yeah. I'm glad, man, dude. This thing.
It's even Goldwing Mike.
Even their jacket. It's fucking nice, man. You try it on.
I'll try it on.
It's a nice fucking jacket. Like it's not even.
It's kind of a members only style jacket a little bit.
I mean, but no, they make good shit. It's got a nice liner. It's warm. I mean, it's cold out tonight. That's all I brought. Fucking jacket.
You got a heater on your bike, dude.
The heater doesn't work as good as one of my things. The heater's nice, but the problem is it goes on your legs. So it's good for when it starts getting cold. But once it gets really cold, you got too much shit on your legs that like
you can't feel the heat.
Yeah, you can't feel the heat anymore anyway. You know, once you got like some thick pants on or something.
Yeah.
But you know,
shit. Let's get some more memes. If you want to really make people hate you, you got to go fucking for the throat.
Man, I don't want people to think I'm an asshole.
Well,
I feel that's how I start coming off sometimes when people take him serious.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if everyone took Bill Burr serious, man, you feel like, you know, he'd probably be like, God damn, people really think I'm a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But nobody does. But for some reason, they take me fucking serious.
Like, don't take Mike serious, except for Goldwing stuff.
If you don't believe me that I don't take this serious, go back and like look at some of my old memes. You know how many times I made fun of the same bikes I had, like making fun of flames while I got 3 flame bikes in my garage and shit. Nobody seems to pay attention to that shit. They're like, I'm straight making fun of myself.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like, it's just fucking jokes. If it's funny, it's funny.
Yeah, I agree.
Who cares? Man. Don't be so sensitive. You're bikers, allegedly. Grown men.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, allegedly. These people are supposed to be grown men, bikers, tough, and get fucking crying over a goddamn meme. It's...
It's the meme too.
It is, man. It is. Crying over memes and prices.
Yeah.
But
well, fuck it, man.
Fuck it.
To 2021, we're gonna ride bikes, wing dinging it up.
Hey man, I expect to see you there. It's like I said. It's 500 miles or 400. I think it's 400.
Well, here's the deal. I think that's gonna be the time of year that we're gonna be doing our we're going northeast. I think on the way back, I think we can come back through there and
I mean, you're gonna have an experience.
Oh, dude, we'll fuck a wingding up. We'll come in there and party, dude. All the
I don't
homies.
think you're gonna party hard enough,
Dude, I don't know, man. If we were to show up and they were fucking wingdinging it harder than us, we're gonna have to.
Look, man, these are people with nothing to prove. They fucking
dude,
go hard.
But we're gonna. Well, yeah, that's true because we're gonna try to prove that we can party like they can.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to hang because you guys are gonna.
I'm just gonna go in there and be like, "Water is wet. Give me that fucking drink."
They don't have much like online that you can see like advertising.
No, man, because what happens at the wingding stays at the wingding.
I guess so, yeah.
It's not like a fucking Harley rally. Dude, we could be posting pictures, man. That shit's not safe for work.
Go on Pornhub and put wingding in. See if there's something on Pornhub.
Dude, it's gonna be so freaky. It's gonna be so weird.
You want me to pull it?
Probably a bunch of really fat people walk around naked or some shit. I don't know.
Just pull up and it's like you can't see anything, but then as soon as you go through the gates, it's like a nudist camp.
We just haven't decided if we're camping or hoteling it there yet or not. We haven't made that call. But Greg, he bought one of those pop-up campers for his Goldwing. He's been hauling that around. No, have you seen those? They have those. Like, you know, like a pop-up camper for like your truck. Like it like folds out, pops up and everything, and it's fucking.
Was he like sleep on a tour pack or some shit?
No. It pops out into like a whole fucking tent. Like you open it up and it's like a giant tent. Damn. It's pretty fucking.
It's innovation.
Cool. It's pretty fucking cool. I'm telling you, as much as you loved Giddy Up, I bet you'd fucking go nuts. Like, I wish there was a Giddy Up style. I'd ride that bitch down there with a trailer.
That would be funny.
Load that bitch up full of, like, you know, beer, maybe throw, like, a hooker in the fucking trailer. I don't know, you know, and just have a whole fucking party on, I guess that's 4 wheels at that point. But, you know, you get it.
Yeah, I get what you're throwing.
It's still
up.
a bike,
even
with 4 wheels if it's 2
well,
trailer
dude,
wheels.
like I said, when you first got the sidecar, that was like the show. Every time you went somewhere, that was everybody wanted to ride. You were doing the thing where you fucking get it off the ground. There's a badass picture I think you posted recently that has like you, King Tony, and who else is on the bike? Was it Nick?
No, Hutch was on the bike.
Oh, that's right.
Hutch, I think, was behind me. I think Tony was in the car, and then some chick just jumped in the car with Tony when we were leaving Giddy Up.
Yeah.
Because I remember we were going back, and I'm like, bro, this is worn out ass Evo. Because that was a stock motor still in there at the time. And I'm like, this thing's at like 70,000 miles or something, or 60,000 miles, leaking out everywhere. And I'm like, it's got the sidecar and then 4 grown folk on it. I'm like, that's a lot of weight this thing's pulling. I was like, I had it all the way wide open, and we're just chugging along.
Trying to get up those hills.
Yeah, I know, really, that's how it was.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Goldwing Mike. Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Yeah.